Ho, 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 and welcome to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, the Let's Try program here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. I'm your host, as always, Ian Horner, and joining me today is Graham Stark.
Hello.
And you brought some strange equipment with you today.
Yes, and all these bowls. This is my dad. This is my dad, Stuart, and I'm really pleased that you could join us.
Yes, it was great fun.
Yeah, because we're making things that, well, these are Stark household festive Christmas recipes.
Family recipes.
Yes.
With history.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I was like, well, you know, because I was just going to come in and do this, and then yesterday I was like, hey, do you want to come on the show? Do you want to be here for this? Give us a little bit more of the context for it. So
You bet.
yeah.
So hello to everybody.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us as well.
Yes.
It's going to be a deep look inside the Stark holiday traditions.
Only two of them. We're going to be doing Scottish shortbread and fruitcake, bracket the good kind. This is, as I've said on Twitter, this is my staunch defense of fruitcake. Oft used as a festive punchline. No longer. Turns out it's really good if you get good fruitcake.
You've been talking up the fruitcake of your family.
Good. We aren't going to be able to try it tonight because it takes like 3 to 4 hours to bake. But we're gonna make it, and you can make along at home or watch the VOD later.
Bring you back on when it's completely finished
Just
for a final.
lean in, eat it, be like, it's good, and then leave again. And you're making eggnog.
Yes,
from scratch.
In between those things, I'll be making eggnog a la the way I had to do it in Japan, where there is no eggnog for purchase.
Really? Yeah. Eggnog is not a thing they do in Japan.
They don't. They have no concept of eggnog.
Not beautifully packaged small eggnogs. No.
You'd think that you'd be able to get it warm out of a vending machine in a can. But they just don't like milk.
With like a vial of rum taped to the side that you pop off and like crack and pour in.
And beautifully,
It just seems like
and beautifully wrapped.
Yeah.
Things that I'd wished existed now.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So, but let's get started then.
Okay.
With the shortbread.
The shortbread.
Now, I don't know, Paul, if you have that thing.
I have not got it yet.
Okay.
Wait, I have to actually accept it.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Well, I sent Paul a picture of the original. Well, not the original, but the recipe card that you sent me for this.
Yes.
Which is labeled Bob's mother's shortbread.
Right.
Because it was written by your mother, by my grandmother.
Right.
And Bob being my grandfather. And
Yes.
it's his mother's shortbread.
And his mother is Annie Stark.
Yes.
And they came out from Scotland in 1910.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is legit Scottish shortbread.
Yep. Bringing the recipe with them.
And Bob is literally your uncle.
No, my grandfather.
Grandfather.
Right? Oh, someone. There's got to be
let's
someone's
get this
uncle in there.
straight.
I do also have a cousin named Bob because my uncle Steve did name his son after my grandfather.
Yes.
But I have no uncle named Bob. Sorry.
Good thing.
Charts are an exercise for the viewer.
Right.
Yeah, you can work out the family tree by yourself. From the Highlands or the Lowlands?
Lowlands.
Lowlands originally, I think.
Glasgow.
Right.
Ooh.
Outside of Glasgow.
He was a policeman.
He was a policeman. My grandfather was a policeman in Glasgow. My great-grandfather, who came out at the year after they found out that Canada was a swell place and they wanted to come visit and stay, he was a Wright. And he was a woodworker.
Oh, cool.
Name is called a Wright, spelled with a W.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they brought this out, and family's been making it ever since. It is a great
delicious.
recipe.
It's so good and it's so easy.
And that's
so easy.
Part of the reason we're doing it is because it's really easy.
Yeah.
And tastes terrific. And there's all sorts of shortbreads, and there's shortbreads that use icing sugar, which gives that very, very fine toothed shortbread, and there's ones with almond dust in it, which is really good, but not if you're allergic to nuts. And this one is simple, but it does have a secret ingredient, which some people, it isn't that secret, but a lot of people.
I tweeted the recipe earlier because I said if you want to follow along with me, I hope at least one person is. I know I didn't give a lot of warning, but I said if you want to follow along, here's the ingredients. And one person was like, "What? Why the rice flour though?"
Rice flour gives just a crunch, which is really nice.
It's not all. Oh yes, there it is. Bob's mother's recipe.
There we are.
3 heaping tablespoons of
Ground rice, otherwise known as rice flour.
1 cup sugar, 1 pound butter,
And a sifter full of flour. And I do recall that sifter, and it was about this big, and it had a and which sifted all the flour because the flour came in lumps in those days.
We're going with 4 1/4 cups, I believe.
So we've translated to a 4 1/4 cups.
The measurement is one of the sifter that I have full.
Yeah, one of the sifters I had growing
Yeah,
up.
it's a
full
sifter
of-
around here full.
But not the most useful measurement. For
No,
people.
and you do find in old family recipes that there's a dash of this, a lump of that, a sifter full of that, and translating it to something useful can be tricky.
It's like my dad makes bread, and when people ask him for the recipe, it's the one with the egg. It's the one with an egg in it.
That'll do.
That's about the only consistent part of the recipe, I think.
That'll work. Great.
So, I guess let's get started.
Okay.
3 heaping tablespoons is the first thing.
Well,
Detach these.
I usually put the flour in first.
All right. So the normal flour or the rice
Normal flour.
All right.
Regular.
I have an embarrassment of that because we'll need a bunch for later as well. So,
Regular.
and there's the cups. All right.
Yeah.
Fresh trip to our local bulk
Yeah, we went to
establishment.
the bulk store. They had they even had the currants, which Mum was not sure that we'd be able to find for the fruitcake.
There we go.
So 4 1/4 of these.
4 1/4 cups.
Use this also as an excuse to get measuring cups to live at the moon base. So next time we do a cooking stream, nobody has to bring their stuff from home.
And especially now that we've got the dishwasher.
Yes, yeah. So improvements. Was that in your way, Beach? Okay. Nice and subtle about it.
Now, I have a quick question here. This is just all-purpose flour, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
All-purpose
this is
flour,
just normal all-purpose flour, 4 1/4.
which comes pre-sifted, so you don't need the sifter anymore.
Thank goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier.
Resonant. All right, there you go.
There we go. So, in the bowl, and then we have the sugar to add.
Yep. Sugar. 1 cup of granulated sugar, which I've got set aside in what would be a lovely, tasteful bowl if the bowls that we have were not in that self-same dishwasher we just talked about. Don't know what that is. A
Take that out.
little bit of crystallized sugar. It looks like.
Additional roughage.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's just.
There we go.
There we go. And that all mixes up nicely. And then we have the secret ingredient
Yes.
of the rice flour. And actually, you can find this in this sort of spice aisle.
Now, what do you consider here, Beej? Is
That-
this
That is heaping.
okay? This is a heaping tablespoon
Yes.
rather than
Not
a level.
not a flat one. This is a heaping tablespoon.
Yeah, you can just sort of. You can kind of wing it a little bit, but yeah, that's the heaping.
Yeah.
Mind the meniscus.
Ta-
And spread it
a
around.
tablespoon and then a bit more.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a very, very fine
Yeah.
product.
You want a spoon to sort of
You can have
roughly
a
put it
spoon
together?
to mix this up just so it's all spread around evenly.
Yeah. So it's only 4 ingredients. This, but it heaping, not heaped. I guess people could use those words interchangeably. I suppose.
Heaped tablespoon?
Then 1 pound of butter.
Yeah.
And the reason it's all cut up here, it's a nice thing to do. It should be at room temperature, so this has been happily warming up under the studio lights. And we dump the whole thing in.
Because it's you want to have it, not chilled. You want to leave it out at room temperature. If you're like us and just bought it within the last 2 hours, then it will not have come up to room temperature. But chopping it all up into little cubes is a neat trick for that to help it get up to temperature more quickly.
More surface.
I
More surface to warm up.
love that butter hero shot.
Yeah.
And then having thoroughly washed one's hands before one comes on screen.
Yes, we do try to. We make jokes about what safety regulations we may or may not flaunt here on Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, but
We take poisoning seriously.
yeah, food safe is sort of relevant.
And yeah, if you are wearing some kind of Apple Watch, this is
Take
a good
off
time
your
to take it
watch.
off,
Yeah, and then you just get in there.
And then it mixes up great. And I know that there is food science involved with this, with
The heat of your hand.
the heat of your hands, the fat of the butter, creaming into the, as they say, into the sugar, and then mixing up with the flour.
If you move the bowl, we didn't quite.
Which way?
Yeah, we can, if
you
you
move
bring
it
it
over
right over
there,
here.
Here.
slightly.
We can show the We can cut to the
overhead
top down.
camera.
There we go.
Aha!
Very,
You can see
very
that.
blue looking.
It's extremely blue looking. It's actually very tasteful.
Yeah.
In real life, it's a pleasant creamy color as the butter mixes into it.
We could adjust.
And this takes a little while, but it's the nicest way to do it. Some recipe, I think another version my mother had written says, use a pastry cutter, but then she went to home economics school and learned how to cook professionally and do dress designing and all sorts of other things. So you get her, you can hear her professors say, use a pastry cutter at all times instead of just getting in there with your hands, which is much nicer actually.
Unfortunately, I just ruined my last pastry cutter on this very same activity, breaking up butter into the flour.
No. Let the and this is
the pastry
still
cutter's it's the sort of the it's like a handle with a series of blade-looking things off it in a loop.
Mine was wires, though, and I
Oh,
think
okay,
it was probably of the
Wires.
vintage of the 1930s.
Ah,
that would do it. Yeah,
well, there you go.
looks vaguely like the Inuit.
Jedi Transmit is asking, is this one of those recipes where if you overwork the dough, you get too much gluten and a tough dough?
I've never had that problem.
All right.
That
You just sort of keep going. It takes a little while, so this gets the boring part for anybody who's watching. But you sort of just work it like this, and it breaks into little buttery flakes, which starts mixing up with the flour and the sugar. And you can see it's just starting to do this, and you can rub it as well. And it feels great.
What was the sugar you used? Just normal white granulated
White
sugar?
granulated sugar. Yeah. Other recipes for shortbread will use the icing sugar, which is very, very fine, powdery stuff.
Yeah.
And you get a really, really, really fine shortbread
It would
at the
probably
end of
be
it.
a different...
And it's a different texture, it's a different taste.
but it'd probably be a different ratio, like you can't just take this
No,
and
don't do
substitute.
that. Just use regular granulated sugar.
I was looking that up, Graham, just before the show, actually, for my own recipe today. And it turns out that icing sugar generally contains a little bit of cornstarch.
Interesting.
So anytime you're adding it to, especially a liquid, like a drink, you're definitely just straight up not going to want to use icing sugar.
Yeah.
But using it in something like a
Getting there.
cookie will result in a chewier cookie than it will with granulation.
Interesting. So some questions about the flours and everything. I tweeted the recipe out on my Twitter, but just to reiterate, it's 4 1/4 cups of just normal white all-purpose flour, or a sifter full of normal white all-purpose flour.
If
So
you have
not,
a 4 1/4 cup sifter.
not self-rising. 3 heaping tablespoons of rice flour, 1 cup of normal white granulated sugar, and a pound of butter, soft, and then you do this to it.
So it's just those 4 ingredients.
It's just those 4.
That's what's it's so
so
simple,
simple.
and you aren't wasting a whole bunch of bowls or mixers or anything, tools.
It's interesting that just in in slightly different ratios or in different ratios, that's very close to like there seems like there's quite a few recipes is like icing is almost the same. It's sort of butter and sugar and a little bit of something to keep it thick.
This is the first step of a lot of baking. Just add sugar, cream with butter.
If you ever do origami, origami usually starts with start with your 12 basic steps, and then you can make it a lobster, or you can make a whale, or 15 cranes, or something like that.
Learning those first steps.
Yes, it's the first steps, but this is turning out really well. This is breaking apart and becoming lovely and powdery, and you just want to make sure that all the butter lumps are broken up, which you can find by feel, which is really nice.
Yeah, I can see we're getting a very, very fluffy texture in this.
Very fluffy texture. Yeah, you just want to make sure that all the lumps are gone. Then what we'll be doing is dividing it up into the 2 9-inch baking pans, which we have in front of us.
And does anything need to be done to those baking pans?
Nope,
I should have began by saying preheat your oven to 325.
that would be a good idea, which we are doing.
Which we've done, yes. But sorry, You don't do anything to the baking pans.
No, a lot of recipes would call for, you know,
Buttering them.
greasing and powdering and all that stuff. You don't have to because there's so much butter in this.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
half
even,
butter anyway.
Yeah,
so-
you don't even need to use non-stick. So.
Ooh, actually, I'm going to rearrange some of those racks there.
May I
to
just
make
say your
sure that
dad
we
is a
can
delight. Thank you, Arclight Dynamo. I'll let him know.
get both of those pans.
I heard
in
that.
there.
Thank you. That's great. Okay, so this is just about it. I think that we will.
Yeah, 325 Celsius. Wait, no,
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Old school. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry.
All baking temperatures are done in
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and also actually there's
In North America, anyway.
yeah, there's that international aspect. Yeah, it's baking temperatures are in Fahrenheit. The one cup
looking pretty
is
good.
250 milliliters,
Mills, yeah.
which apparently is different in different countries. Which
Okay.
I did not know.
For the fruitcake recipe later, I have it in imperial and metric for a lot of the ingredient. Like fruit and stuff is in pounds or grams, and then some of the other ingredients are in cups. It's a whole thing. So.
And this recipe.
So what's the, just show Beach here what the consistency sort of looks like. So there's still like some little lumps in there. It
not many lumps, but just
doesn't have to be.
no. You just want to make sure all the
Perfectly
big
fine.
lumps are out, and this is just a nice, soft, fluffy. There's one. Break that one up.
I guess if you don't mix it well enough at this stage, then you're going to end up with a lot more,
Yeah.
a lot sort of denser.
Well, what you'll wind up with is little pockets of butter, which is not a bad thing in itself. But it's if we're aiming for the highest quality Scottish shortbread, you want it mixed up. So you've got your two pans, and you just divide it up evenly into the two pans.
Sort of eyeball it.
Eyeball it.
It's not rocket science here.
It's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be exact, so there's no measuring.
Some baking is very, very particular, in that if you get your ratios wrong, then things go weird.
This is forgiving.
This is
Correct,
not.
usually, yeah.
Yeah.
So then
This is what I'm curious about.
continue to use your hands. Just spread it out.
You got butter all over them anyway.
Make it even. Use your knuckles, use your hand. Get it. Make sure it's not too thin. It always likes to go thin up the sides of the pan, and you just tamp it down and make it even all the way around. And this isn't the finished bit. This is part way through, because when it comes out, there's more stuff you do to cut it into squares and stuff. So this is sort of.
But this is as done as it does before you put it in the oven.
Yeah, we do. This is about 2/3 of the way through, but there are key maneuvers at the end, which are again really simple. So what's nice about this is you can whip this up, and I often do just before people come over, and then the house smells great. And if it lasts that same evening, that's extraordinary, because most people eat this immediately.
It's so good, I can't stop. How much do you tamp it down? You just sort of
make it semi-smooth. You can see. I mean, this is no great. That's it. It doesn't have to be smooth.
You're not putting a lot of force on that.
No, not a lot of force. Just
But it's quite dense, so it feels quite firm. Like you're not putting a ton of force on it, but it's very firm.
It's firm.
Yeah.
It's firm. So you're not trying to create air bubbles or anything. And that's it. It's ready to go. There we are, ready to go in the oven.
So Ian, if you want to
So
pop those in.
325 for an hour in a regular oven, and we'll see what happens in a toaster oven.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be 325, so
Should be fine.
it should be okay. Yeah. So you aren't packing it down.
9-inch square pans.
Yeah. So you aren't packing it down like a graham cracker.
You
crust.
can
I don't
also
think so.
you can also do it in round pans,
I'm gonna put that in.
and then eventually cut into pie-shaped wedges.
right. Have
little-
you ever done a
little
graham
narrow
cracker
ones.
crust?
Yes.
It's not as much force as a graham cracker crust? I don't know. Someone
I
was
don't.
looking
I don't feel like it is. Graham
looking for
cracker
a
crusts are
comparison.
lovely. Graham cracker crusts and full of butter, and they make wonderful, delicious pie crusts. But
Hey Siri,
is
set
different.
a timer for 1 hour. Terrific. Did everyone else's watches go off?
No.
Good. Good.
Great.
And
So
there you go.
that's it.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
And
Wow, that was-
apart from washing your hands,
Right. Do you want
we're
to
all
excuse
set.
yourself to do that?
I'm going to excuse myself.
Ian can get started with the
Yeah.
eggnog.
Certainly.
All right.
Surprisingly
I will be
easy.
back.
Paul, if you want to kill that mic.
I'm going to need to go get my ingredients and materials.
Oh, whoops.
Because
All
I've been
right.
keeping them in the fridge.
Well, I'll just sit here. Maybe we'll just take a very
Yeah,
quick break.
let's take a quick commercial break.
That's probably the
just
best.
like a 2-minute break, and we'll be right back with the eggnog and Dad with clean hands.
All right.
Don't go away. Hey,
Hey.
welcome back to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, where we are having a stark Christmas expose.
The kitchen has been cleaned.
Yes.
Exposing the deep secrets of the shortbread that we have.
Yeah, it's really good shortbread. At least it seems like it as it bakes up here in our tiny oven. In the meantime,
If you have any other questions about it, actually, while we continue, please do ask. But yeah, sorry, Ian, didn't mean to cut you off.
not at all. I'm going to actually run us through a recipe for for some eggnog.
I'm really excited about this because I love eggnog and I've never made it from scratch.
Yes. Now this is going to be extremely nerve-wracking for me because it's been a while since I've separated eggs. But all you're going to need for this is eggs.
That's shocking.
Yes.
So you take eggs and
you'll
you have
need
to separate the nog
4
from the eggs.
separated eggs.
Add
thing is they're ostrich eggs.
add extra nog. Yes.
A
You could probably use ostrich eggs.
a third of a cup, or not a third of a cup, a whole pint of whole milk, or homogenized milk here in Canada.
Which is about 5% generally.
1 cup of heavy cream. Whipping cream is probably the best we can do here.
I thought homogenized was 3%.
It's 3.25 here. I've
Oh,
never
I'm
seen.
sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I've never
Sorry,
seen it
I'm
go up
sorry.
as
not
high as
5.
5.
That's
I'm
like,
wrong.
That's like buttermilk, I think.
Yeah, I'm incorrect. Yes, 3.25. Sorry.
And you'll just need a third of a cup of sugar plus an extra tablespoon of the sugar as well. So, first off, we're going to get started by separating out these eggs. And
So is this a recipe that you researched and came up with when you were in Japan? looking
No,
for
this
eggnog?
is. I just decided to go with the first one that I came up that I could trust, and that would have been the Alton Brown recipe.
Oh, lovely. Good.
So we're going off of his genius for that.
Panicked Fox. Yes, this is my dad. We've already made a Stark family shortbread, which is now in the oven, and will be for an additional probably 50 minutes at this point. And then Ian's going to make some eggnog, and then we're going to make Stark family fruitcake as part of my defensive fruitcake.
I like, we don't have a word for eggnog in Swedish.
Really?
Maybe it's one of those things where like Eskimos don't have a word for snow. They just have like all the different types of snow.
Good.
Right.
There's just too many types of eggnog. I think that's probably wrong. But
And this is
that's,
also
that's true from Bruce Lee 3000. Have you ever done that with separating an egg? You can just put it. You get kind of messy, but you can put the yolk, or you can dump it directly into your hand. And just sort of
I've tried that and never had success.
never had success.
No.
Okay, so you're using the eggshell method.
Yeah, which I
Let's get a
have
close up of that. Well, the next one, I guess. How many
Yeah.
eggs do you do?
4,
Good.
which
Okay.
is
I'm
why
having a hard time finding focus on your hands.
I'll try to do it directly here this time.
Thank you.
You got your focus point?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Let's find out.
All right. Ooh, this could be.
This is also probably the time to point out that if these are English recipes, everything would be done by weight.
Yes, which
using-
is
using scales.
which I vastly prefer for my recipes.
And anybody coming from England thinks that North America is insane by doing things in these weird cups and
They
measures.
are, because when you're dealing with cups and measures, the best example is the flour itself, because you're talking about sifted versus unsifted flour.
Yes.
How much flour are you actually getting if you're doing it by cup size?
By cup rather than
Because
rather
is
than
it
weight.
packed? Is
Yeah.
it
And if you're doing
unpacked?
brown sugar, is it packed
Yeah.
or not?
Whereas if you're
know.
doing by weight, you
I always liked it packed because it would come out in a nice sort of
Oh,
sandcastle
yes.
form.
also, you get more sugar that way too, which is nice.
Okay.
Yes. always a plus.
Oh boy, there we go. Whew. Almost a disaster on that one.
Blorp.
I remember when we were during Desert Bus, when we were doing the tea little demonstration, he was talking about using a scale for measuring tea as well, with the same idea being that at a certain, once you get up to a certain level of consistency you're looking for in your tea,
Oh,
There we are.
Oh, here we are. Oh, you
the
got
size
you
of the
Okay.
leaves and the how tightly packed it is and stuff will
Dampish.
affect the amount you get.
This one's fine. Okay, so we have the egg yolks, which next
As
we are
required.
going to beat.
beat the egg yolks.
Yes, beat the egg yolks until they lighten in color, and then add 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Did I remember my measuring spoons?
Well, we have some now.
We have
Oh,
spoons over here.
perfect, perfect.
What do you want? 1/3 of a cup?
Yes,
I have that.
perfect.
Right here.
And we
I
have sugar too.
pre-portioned.
Yeah, we have sugar if you need. Oh, we pre-portioned. Fancy.
Yeah, I pre-portioned it to be,
Ooh, like a professional cooking show.
one would hope. All right. And where did I put my
Your
bar?
power bar for the whisk. I like this single. I've never seen that kind of electric whisk before.
This is a combination whisk blend, hand blender, and chopper. It's from President's Choice line. It does the job. I've done this by hand before. It's less pleasant, but it's doable. So let's get that in there.
You want to do that under the. Make sure you're. Oh, there we go. Centrifuge. Yeah.
Take down the mic a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see the egg yolks start to get a much paler yellow as you introduce more air into them. And a nice frothy mixture.
Bring in the drum. Old School Billy asks, are you going to be covering your fruitcake in pastry and marzipan because that's how proper fruitcake / black bun is made? No, because it's not this recipe.
Not how this
You
fruitcake
could.
is made.
There's nothing saying you couldn't take the fruitcake that we're going to do later and cover it in marzipan.
I've never heard
if
the
you
term
wanted.
black bun.
No, I've never heard that either, actually.
That's news to me.
Scottish.
That sounds it. Yeah.
I think it's Scottish.
If you need any extra sugar, we do have some.
Oh,
It looks like you have exactly what you need.
that should be it.
And it goes.
Again, pre-measuring.
Not Bruno again? Yes. We are prepared for that.
Pencil stroke, I have seen videos of trying to separate eggs that way, and I have yet to successfully separate eggs that way.
What, the plastic bottle method?
Yes.
I'm unfamiliar with it.
The idea is that you take a plastic bottle and then,
Like a 2-liter?
yeah, like a 2-liter, and you
Okay.
can just suck the egg yolk out by just using the suction of the squeezed bottle.
Oh, I see. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
wait. Oh, you crack the egg into a bowl.
Yeah, and then you just suck the
squeeze
egg yolks
squeeze
out.
the bottle, press it down on the yolk, and then suck the yolk up?
Yep, very lightly. But most of the plastic bottles I've run into have been adulterated on the rim of the edge, so that
Right.
the minute you actually start getting any pressure on the yolk,
They just pop it.
it pulls
Because
it.
they're sharp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It may be something we can get to work, but I've never successfully done it, and I have, in my years of cooking, only unsuccessfully separated an egg once, and that was with the shell
With
method.
the shell method, yeah.
Yeah,
The,
and try and-
the shell method's pretty straightforward, and you have the shells.
Yeah, and once you're comfortable with it, it's
No,
not something that's-
no extra equipment required.
Yeah.
Right. Beach,
Yeah.
can I ask you to go rinse this off for me, please? Thank you. Because the next step is to do the same thing with the egg whites.
How
The very next step.
Well, no.
Right back.
how stiff are your peaks?
Thankfully, it's difficult to get egg yolks into a peak.
No, I mean when you're whisking the whites, because this is a drink, not a meringue. So how stiff do you whisk the whites?
You just want reasonably
want them
stiff.
aerated?
Yeah, you want it stiff like a meringue, but
Really?
because you want to fold it in afterwards.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, the idea with the whites is you're trying to make a sort of a bubbly texture to it. That gets at it. Thank you. All right.
The whisk flies in from out of shot.
So place egg whites in a bowl. Add the third of sugar. That's been done.
Question about whether they're pasteurized or cooked.
Which?
The eggs.
No. They are simply just raw egg, which
I guess theoretically you could get like the sort of pre-separated egg whites and stuff.
and if you do feel uncomfortable about just using raw eggs,
Generally, if you wash the shells, that takes out the vast majority of the potential like salmonella issues or whatever with raw eggs.
correct. So that's something you might want to consider beforehand as well. There's a variation on this very same recipe as well that you can't to cook the batter, if so desired. All right, this keeps shutting off on me. So next up, we want to add the milk and cream, which will be a cup of the milk, or sorry, a pint or 500 milliliters.
Pint.
Pint is just so 2 cups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a pint of homogenized milk. Or, again, 3.25%. Or what was the other term for it? Whole milk?
Whole milk, yes.
Whole milk.
Sorry.
Okay, right. Repping the Island Farms,
Yeah.
our local.
I considered buying the fancy milk in a bottle, but decided against it. Be aware of the cost.
I'm so worried about this branding. This Island Farms by Natural.
Oh, is
It
that?
just reeks of a transition to eliminating the Island Farms brand.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Now that they got bought.
It's like what Macy's did when they bought the Bon Marché.
Oh, right.
In Seattle, it became the
Bon Macy's.
Bon Macy's for a while.
And then it was just Macy's.
And then it became Macy's.
Yeah.
And now, interestingly, they've announced Macy's in downtown Seattle in their lovely 6-story building.
Yeah.
They are going to, next year, rent the top 3 floors to Amazon for offices.
Is there anywhere in Seattle that Amazon won't occupy?
Because
No.
Amazon is building that spectacular new setting with the 3 geodesic domes.
That looks amazing.
Which is astonishing if you go see it.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like, oh gosh, there's another department store
Yeah.
reducing in size.
Someone was saying, Ian, how much table cream? It's one of those cartons.
Yeah, it's one of the small cartons.
Which is 1 cup. It's 250.
250.
Well, this is 237, but yeah, a cup.
Ish.
Just a cup of this. This is the whipping cream. It's 33%.
And
Not
so
table
now
cream. That's a
we're going
different.
I'm backing up.
Here we go. Is that on the overhead? Yeah. Pull a little closer to you, in? No, the other way. There you go.
So, Graham, this is going to take some time. So we apply air to the abdomen of the chicken's egg.
If you hold it straight up and down, you're less likely to fling it across the table. Modeling the difference between table cream and whipping cream is, I believe, just a milk fat percentage, and I don't recall what table cream is. But whipping cream is 33.
Yeah, you may have to check with what is the standard in your area.
Mercano, no, this is a different camera, like a different physical camera. So,
There we go.
Gentle Cadence says table cream is 15 to 18%. Whipping cream, like I said, is 33.
Heavy cream, it's supposed to be around 38 to 40%.
That's the heavy cream,
Yes,
right? And this recipe calls for heavy cream.
correct.
But you couldn't
Whipping
get it,
cream
or
is all that's
it's
available.
heavy enough.
I think it's, yeah.
It's pretty heavy. That smells amazing now. I can smell the shortbread. I'm getting whiffs of it now. Graham, the traffic is forming stiff peaks, and it's almost ready to be folded.
I think we're very close there. I wouldn't go too much farther than that before adding the sugar.
Ooh, there we go. Can we see that? Yeah. Getting some. Now, those are definitely not stiff peaks. Those are soft peaks. There's light peaks? What do you call them when they're not stiff?
Mounds.
Soft peaks.
Soft peak. We'll go with soft
Well,
peaks.
moundy. Yeah.
Now, am I correct in
Oh, now you're putting in the rest of the sugar.
The sugar.
Interesting.
Much like you would with a meringue or a whipping cream.
Yeah, am I correct in thinking that putting the sugar in too early can mess up the whipping process?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I thought there was a thing about that it doesn't whip as well if the sugar is in first.
You definitely don't want to get it in too soon.
Butter in Sweden comes in 500-gram chunks
Hey!
with 50-gram markings on the wrapper. The butter in Canada comes in a pound and with markings that tell you a quarter cup, a half cup. Even though it's a pound,
Yeah.
they've divided it into cups,
Yeah, which is helpful.
which is extremely helpful.
Because the shortbread earlier was easy. It's a pound of butter, so it's just when you get a brick of it, that's it. That's the whole thing goes in.
Yeah, well-
The fruitcake is a half, which is a half pound, so it's just half of that. So it's easy.
Yeah, we just combine the two.
That's simple, huh?
Yep.
Having sugar in first deflates it a bit, but it will work out.
So what are you combining? That's the...
I'm just transferring things to a larger bowl. This is the egg and dairy mixture,
Mm-hmm.
or egg yolk and dairy mixture. And then we'll take a spatula.
Maybe we want to raise the column on that more, just so it's...
Just to get a higher shot.
Yeah.
And add this in.
Ooh,
Oh, beautiful.
here we go. Oh, yeah.
Get that in, yes, that's a
Yeah.
good shot. That gives a good idea of the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny bubbles.
I had no idea. Wow, tiny bubbles. I had no idea that eggnog had a step so similar to a meringue.
And then we're just going to fold this gently in, trying to keep as many of the bubbles intact as possible. But that's
So folding is also a specific. When you're cooking, folding is a specific term. I mean, so are like mix and blend and all those things. And folding is literally, as you can see Ian doing with the spatula there, you're sort of getting it under an amount of it and folding it over.
You're trying to mix it without breaking without mixing the bubbles up too much.
I do it a little differently.
You want
but-
to retain the air.
Yeah. Someone says Ian's mic is still off.
Oh yeah,
Maybe it was down. It was probably down for blending.
it's true.
And you know what I forgot?
Hmm?
I forgot a ladle, but I think we can probably get by with.
I have.
We can use these.
Oh yeah, that would be
I'm
perfect.
not going to need this 3/4 measure.
I think it's important to note at this point that it's like, yeah, you can get light
Yeah, it's,
eggnog, but it's you're it's like you're having eggnog. Just own it.
Yeah.
yeah. I'd agree with Lord Hosk. You're doing kind of a half fold, half stir.
Yeah.
If you, yeah.
Yeah,
if
you can.
If you want half fat eggnog, just drink a smaller amount of eggnog. Like
I agree with that. Yeah.
drink half the eggnog. That's half fat eggnog.
If you're going to have eggnog, commit to eggnog.
Let's see if this is the consistency we want it to be.
Wait, that's it?
That's it.
Really?
Yep, that's all there is to it.
That is some heavy nog.
I'm amazed.
And we'll see if this is. The recipe also gives the option of adding brandy or rum to it if you like.
I mean, we have some brandy for the fruitcake.
Oh, well, if we'd like to try that, that's certainly an option. I do recommend fresh nutmeg if you can.
Did I miss the bourbon step? Mercer man, I've never heard of having bourbon in eggnog, but don't let me stop you.
Ah, that's what Alton calls for.
Oh, Alton Brown uses bourbon.
Yes.
Bourbon.
What? No 3 cups of brandy?
I've only heard
Three
of.
cups
I've only
of
heard
brandy.
of.
That would finish one
Like,
off completely.
Rum and eggnog is I would say the classic.
The
I'd go
canonical.
I'd go so far as to make that claim, and then brandy, of course, I've heard.
That's
Brandy
always
feels very festive. I've never heard of.
Salted butter,
Ooh, that
for whoever
sounds
is asking
very
for the
good.
shortbread.
Oh yes, yeah. Because there's no both recipes. There's no salt in either recipe tonight. Salted salted butter, which came up when we were at the store, and Kathleen was like, "Do you want salted or unsalted?" I'm like, "I don't know. These recipes don't say." And she's like, "Well, is there salt in either recipe?" No, you want salted butter.
You do want salted butter.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
It's an interesting philosophical question. It's that, is it like rum and eggnog? Like, is that the drink, rum and eggnog, or is the drink just eggnog, and eggnog has rum in it?
Well, if you add 80 proof rum,
Now,
it's probably rum with a token.
a message from satellite mother that the pan on the top shelf in the toaster oven, is there an element at the top?
There is not.
We don't have any convection mode, I don't think.
No, there is not an
There's no element
on the top.
Okay.
Okay.
She was saying that the
Otherwise, we would
the
have
top,
to swap them.
Yes, to change them mid halfway through the hour cycle so the top one didn't burn. But I guess, again, we've never done it with a toaster oven before, so we're going to see. I'm fascinated, yeah. Oh, yes, thank you.
Very welcome.
Would you like one?
I'll have a small one, please.
Certainly.
Yep.
And Beach?
Oh, I hate eggnog.
Okay. Paul?
Yeah, I'll have some.
And how does your wife feel about eggnog?
Loves
Beach.
That's beach, yeah.
Heather? How does Heather?
Yes.
Yes. She loves it. She will
Good.
have my share.
I will give you her share then.
All right.
I like the official grater for the.
Well, I had.
Edgarware says you might
this is
wanna
one of the
rotate them.
official carpentry ones.
Actually, a couple.
No, this was a dollar store
out of
one to
focus.
see if they did it as
yeah.
good a job as I wanted them to.
Aha!
And then the dollar store one turned out to do good enough that I don't need to buy the official proper microplane. I believe it's the brand.
Microplane.
Microplane as recommended by Martha and all.
No.
Nip down to your local
Hardware store?
local hardware store. Whoops.
A couple of people in the chat are suggesting that toaster ovens don't circulate very well, so we may just want to switch them anyway.
I think you're in
And
a good idea.
half time is right about now anyway.
Well, let's do
so-
that, and then I'll finish up portioning out some eggnog. Actually, this will give us a chance to see what these look like.
Timer.
And the shortbread won't change color dramatically. It doesn't get brown. It'll get a little bit golden.
That's what we're looking at.
Partly there. So I think if we just switch the
Good. Switch
in the
positions.
toaster oven.
Yeah, that one's still very white.
yeah.
So this will be perfect.
So this is the 30-minute mark, so another half hour.
And thankfully, because this is
Let's
not
rotate the cookies.
this is not a leavened bread of any sort, we don't need to worry about it falling by changing positions.
No, there's no souffle collapsing.
I'm fascinated now. So.
Can I grab those other glasses there for
Oh, yes.
our other?
Well, I'm gonna tuck in. I want
technicians.
to try this.
Please. I was tasting it myself beforehand just because I
Cheers.
don't
Yeah.
always make this every
Cheers,
year.
Cheers.
So it's been about a few years since I've put this together.
This is very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Very very creamy.
Is it cheaper than buying actual eggnog in a pre-blended?
Oh Lord, no.
Yeah.
And this is
The
this
question
is-
from Beach there was, is this cheaper than buying like a carton of eggnog? And no.
Would you say it's better?
This is really better.
Yeah. It's very
The,
nice.
the purchase stuff has a sort of slippery slickness to it, and this is light and tasty and
yeah. Wow.
very nice.
Thank you.
And also pretty straightforward. This is obviously a lot more steps. It's more involved than say the shortbread, but it's not difficult.
And of course, the presentation here definitely leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah. I mean, this is
Coming out of a plastic bowl.
I feel like if you were doing a really big batch, separating the eggs would probably be the most time-consuming part.
Yeah. It sounds like a real pain. Yeah.
In that case, then maybe doing a
Sly Cobra. I'm sure
Contraction.
Ian will be able to share the recipe after the
yes, I will throw that actually as well as the recipe that you've got in the forums.
fact. Oh right. Yes.
Put my recipes.
The Loading Ready Run forums.
So that's yours.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
It's the one you,
Perfect.
it's the one you
Cheers.
drank out of.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
Cheers. Wait,
There we go.
Thanks, Paul.
that was me clicking.
Yes. Lovely.
But there are untold numbers of recipes of eggnog. I think the key to it is just do it yourself. And then you can actually control. If you like it a little sweeter, you can add more sugar. If you like it less sweet, you can pull back.
Purchased stuff could not have this frothiness.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
And
It definitely doesn't.
And you need the frothiness for it to work properly. This is festive. The other stuff seems to be less so.
But yeah, it's a bit cloying. It's a bit.
Yeah,
It's sweetened. It's cereal milk.
very thick.
And if you want to try an alternative to eggnog, I would recommend looking up how to make Dutch advocaat. It's like eggnog, but more the consistency of custard, a very boozy custard.
I have
Want a
heard.
Cooking with Grandfather Stark live show right now. Maybe we can work on that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know that Kathleen wants to do more cooking on this show as well.
No, I think that's definitely something I'd like to see more of as well.
Yeah, no, we could definitely bring you back for something. But we're not done yet tonight.
No, we have more to do.
No, this has been the eggnog portion.
I'm just enjoying eggnog now.
How much time have we got left on the timer?
27 minutes.
27 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. So it's
It's
a
just
while
not-
yet. It'll be done before we're done the stream. So
Oh, definitely. I'm just wondering if we should take ourselves a quick break now to clear the table.
well, we probably want to take just another like 2 minutes or so to get set up for the fruitcake and clear all the eggnog detritus out of the way. But
We can do that.
yeah, this is mostly foam now. It's still like up to here, but it's all froth.
And the nutmeg is a lovely touch on top. That's really nice.
Again.
The grated, not
Not
get
shaker.
a fresh one
Always.
and scrape it.
This
Grate it.
basket has been in my family for generations. I think grandfather or great grandmother purchased a number of whole nutmeg nuts. And how often do you use nutmeg? Usually it's Christmas time.
So how fresh are these?
Yeah.
Well, they're not fresh at all, but it's the fresh grinding that matters, much like peppercorns.
So the
Well,
Wow. Just the use. This is an ancient spice from the East Indies, which is a term you don't hear a lot. Used with a grater in making custards, pudding, pumpkins, and fruit pies. Also gives a delicate aromatic flavor to cabbage, cauliflower, and spinach.
yes.
Use as a sprinkling on eggnog. In quotation marks.
Eggnog.
Eggnog. Ingredients: nutmeg and calcium carbonate. John Wagner and Sons, purveyors to Epicure since 1847.
The cabbage with nutmeg is a very British thing.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, and it's very British. And if just
It's also hyphenated on there. It's egg-nog.
but it's supposed to be a lovely combination with cabbage, though I have not had it. I've read about it several times.
What happened first? The Starks arriving in Canada or that nutmeg arriving in the bottle?
I'll have to give it a try.
Nutmeg.
Yeah.
Probably.
so if you were, say, having some sort of Christmas type party, and you wanted
Basically
to,
meringue.
and you wanted to serve this eggnog, is this something that you would want to prepare like beforehand and then chill, or would you want it to be like as fresh as possible for people?
I think preparing it again, if you're doing a batch of shortbread, perhaps get the shortbread in the oven and then do a batch of eggnog. That's ready for people to consume when they come.
So it's freshly made.
Yes.
And then you are being just the host doling it out and serving it.
You don't need to make it a part of a present. The creation doesn't need to be part of the presentation.
No, but you could grate the nutmeg on top as
Exactly.
just
It's
before
the
you
finisher.
present.
Yeah.
Ladle, grate, serve.
And again, dealing with the what we have in the moon base, I would recommend something with a larger mouth as a glass
Yeah.
than
They often are in cups.
yeah.
Yeah. This
Which
is
is
just
nice.
This is just what we had.
So you could use a punch bowl
clear.
with cups.
Exactly.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then-
gonna go get a spoon so I can actually eat the rest of this because it doesn't come out. Whoopsies. Well, hang on. There we go.
Serge is
There
going to
you are.
have your head be
Thank
for
you.
that. Open glasses in Studio C.
It's not Desert Bus anymore.
Somebody just looked up the Spice Company, which does not exist anymore.
Oh no! Oh good. The John Wagner.
Anyway,
Sons.
so there.
Right. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break again to finish our nogs and get ready for step 3 of this holiday episode.
Fruitcake.
It's going to be exciting, and also
Scottish shortbread.
Oh yes, there's the shortbread recipe. Yeah,
Yeah.
but when we come back, it's
Then we'll add on to.
a much more involved fruitcake.
and what I'm looking forward to as well, the tasting of the shortbread.
Yes.
We'll add on to the correct Scottish presentation of the shortbread.
Oh yes, of course.
Oh no,
Yes. So-
Simple.
I didn't bring my pipes.
Simple but effective.
All right.
Don't go away.
Back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Tinker Tailor's Solder Fry, where we have conquered eggnog. We are very quickly approaching shortbread status.
13 and a half minutes left.
Ooh, that's going to be exciting. And now it's time for us to tackle what again?
Fruitcake, because it's good. Now,
I
for
don't
years,
believe you.
ever since I was very small, fruitcake has been the punchline of comedy bits, often in cartoons. There's the trope of the one fruitcake that gets re-gifted every year because nobody wants the fruitcake.
Slowly hardening to the point of
Yeah.
just fossilization.
And again, that's a more commercial product.
Exactly. Now, I don't mind. I actually don't mind store-bought fruitcake that much, but this fruitcake is very good. The trick to fruitcake is that the cake is really just a binding agent to hold together a bunch of fruit and nuts. I just realized you're taking a third of this back with you.
Am I?
Well,
Excellent.
Mum asked, but it's got the nuts. Is that a problem?
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Stuart, is your mic good?
Oh, did you turn your mic off by accident?
I don't think so, but I
Or
can
maybe
try.
just batteries run out?
Let's take a look. Oh, yep. Looks like it's. Boop. There we go.
There, I'm back online.
Accidentally muted.
Hello, folks. Makes
So
Paul much happier.
this is another Stark family recipe. This is we have a shot of it. I think Paul might have a shot of it.
Of the recipe?
Yeah, I shared it with you as well. Oh, there it is. So this is written down in the where's the note? Hang on, I
I
got
can
it.
explain this.
Please do, actually.
Okay, this you can see is a page from a ledger, a small ledger. It's only about 5 by 9 inches from the Merchants Bank of Canada. Merchants Bank of Canada was bought out by Bank of Montreal many years ago. On the other side of the family, my grandfather was manager of the Merchants Bank of Canada in Stettler, Alberta. Stettler, Alberta. Some near Calgary. And
Well, they're both from Alberta. So.
Albertans.
So this is on the one side.
by
The
choice.
grandfather was from Glasgow and came over from Scotland, and this is your other grandfather.
Other grandfather. So from Stettler, Alberta. And as you may or may not know, the Women's Institute, which everybody thinks is British, was actually started in Canada. And it transferred over to Britain. And then they had the Townswomen's Guild as well.
Right.
So my grandmother out in Stettler, little tiny town, drove through it once.
This is the real Little House on the Prairie cookbook.
Yeah. And so it is bound in all these lovely pages, and each page, almost every page has like you see at the top right, it says Mrs. Swift. And Mrs. Swift gave the recipe, and they all shared recipes out, and she noted who gave each recipe all the way through this lovely little book.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Swift, because now it's a Stark tradition.
Now it's a Stark tradition, so they moved from there, from Stettler to Vancouver to Victoria, and here by the 1927.
Great.
I'm very curious about the King Glapricot jam.
That's not in this version.
Oh,
The
Where's that?
right up at the top. Christmas
It
cake.
says Christmas cake.
and
Oh,
then-
on the next page. Oh,
That's on the next page,
yes.
yes.
Sorry.
There's just a question about now this picture and the shortbread recipe. Did you tweet both of those?
Yes, I tweeted this in more like actually in text form, and I tweeted this one with pounds and grams for measurements. I kept the cups as cups, but pounds and grams. Not
And there's a
teaspoons
mild
and everything.
confusion if you read down all through the list. About 2/3 of the way down, you see vanilla, And then you see 3 ditto soda, which we believe is teaspoons from up above. And then it gets really confusing because there's a 3/4, but is that a 3/4 teaspoon of soda or is that 3/4 of a cup of peel?
How hard would it have been to not to just write
To
it
actually
in
put that in, that would have been very handy. However, it works out. We've been using
We've
it as
tested it.
as a half a teaspoon of soda and then 3/4 of a cup of peel. Because right underneath you get the important one, which is half a cup of brandy.
Which we have here.
Which is important.
Yeah, so step 1, we've already started this incorrectly because we should have made this about a month ago. Maybe even more than that. We haven't done them this year, but usually we would make them around Canadian Thanksgiving.
When my mother found out what we were doing tonight, she texted me saying, "I hope you started this back in October."
Yeah, so you really should start this in October because what you do is you bake them and then you wrap them up in wax paper and then every week or 2 weeks you unwrap them and pour brandy over it and then wrap it back up again.
Somebody in the chat was saying that their fruitcake recipe is minimum 6 months, and
Wow.
the best is 10 to 12 months.
That seems...
That's you do fruitcake.
Okay,
now
so
It gets fairly
for
potent.
next,
all right,
for
so
next
we'll- yeah,
Christmas.
so
Fairly potent by Christmas.
We'll have this Christmas 2018 then. I'm not waiting that long. But yeah, we have the brandy for that. It's St. Remy. It was cheap. So to begin, we're going to cream together the butter and the sugar. So the butter, which has been sitting out, is a ½ pound salted butter.
There we go.
And the sugar is a pound
Now, this specifically asks for salted butter, right?
of brown sugar.
Or
Yes.
does it matter?
Well, so
Salted butter.
there's no salt anywhere else in the recipe, so it should be salted butter in this
know.
case. So yeah, it says a pound of brown sugar, which is about 400 and I wrote this down.
What, a pound?
Yeah.
454.
Thank you, Beach. 454 grams, because we only have a gram scale here. So hang on, I need to zero this scale again. This is the really exciting part. Zero it. Okay. How am I going to do this with the sugar? How much do I actually have here? How well did I do this? I can't read it under these lights. 449?
That's amazing.
Great. We'll use it all.
Wait,
Did I really get that close?
You also have to wait at the plate.
Well, I know I zeroed for the plate.
That's amazing.
Hang on, let me zero again. Oh, get on the plate. Hang on, one more time. Zero. No, it's messed up. I can't read it. Oh, now I can read it. And it's messed up. Beej, what have I done to your thing?
No. Stand by while we reboot
I've
our
broken your
scale.
thing.
Let's have a look.
It's just stuck on that. Everyone check out Beej's back. Maybe we can go over here. Nope,
That's not helpful.
Not that one. That one. That's only a little bit better. There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Look,
All
you can't see Beej at all. It's like he's not even here.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, what did I do to your scale?
I'm not sure.
Huh.
That's fascinating.
Oh, is it showing numbers again?
Yeah, it's gone back to showing numbers.
Okay, here.
Skyboss 1996, it's referred to as Beej's backlog. Intact is visually.
What? No, it's not.
with the-
What did you do to it? Okay. On. Okay. 0. 0. Okay, it's in a bag. I guess I don't need the plate, so. On. Okay, whatever. We're going to use all the sugar. Close enough.
How much sugar is that actually?
It's like just under. It's like 449, 450. So it should be about 454 grams. A pound of brown sugar. Go for the dark brown,
Or about 2 cups.
not the golden brown. So there's that.
Proper
And
brown sugar.
And yeah, ½ a pound of butter. So like I said, getting one of those things of butter, cut it in half. Room temperature, same as before, which is why it's all up in cubes.
I like the idea of just put in however much sugar is in the bag.
Yeah, put however much you bought when you went to Bulk Barn earlier today in maybe a little bit of a rush. So, yeah, step one is just cream this together. To be clear, I've never actually led making this before, but that's why that's why we always call this the Let's Try show and not the
Instructional.
yeah, this is not meant to be instructional so much as we're trying it too.
Now, I saw someone in the chat ask if you guys did a thing where everyone stirs the pot for good luck.
I have never known that.
I have not heard of this tradition
I've heard.
either. but-
I've heard about it. Yep.
Really?
We've never done it,
Yeah.
which is the appalling string of bad luck that we've had over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Because we've never stirred the Christmas.
woe is
fruitcake.
us.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
At the very least, we have confirmation that it is a thing.
I've never heard of it.
Yep.
But I mean, I would believe it.
Is there a reason why you're doing this with the spoon instead of with the hands, or is that just?
Because I got a lot more to do, and I don't want to.
This is tidier.
Yeah, I don't have to go wash my hands. It's not in this case. It's not as critical to get the smooth consistency of the shortbread, which is 3.5 minutes left on that, by the
Ooh,
way.
I'm
So we're gonna have to take a brief break in the middle of the fruitcake.
I-
It smells great in here.
A short
It does.
break?
A short,
It's just like-
a shortbread break.
A short break.
We're gonna.
Cooking shortbread is a great place to welcome people to the house.
It's very
Or just
very,
put it in and have a drink by the fireplace, waiting as it wafts through the house.
Yeah, it's a very Christmassy, nice, warm smell.
It's lovely.
You know, as
Could you grab one of those bowls down there? The
evokes
green
that
one.
sitting by the fire and so forth.
Ian,
Yes,
could you beat 4 eggs?
I can certainly.
I have eggs.
Do we have another whisk that I can do that with, or do we need to get one of our other? Thank you,
You could,
Beach.
you could just beat them with a fork.
Find,
Oh, you need that
I
fork,
need
right?
that fork.
Find 4 eggs that have done something wrong.
4 eggs beaten.
And I'm
Instagoose,
gonna- I'd
you've
like to be
stumbled
in the
upon
center
a
again.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
Try
no, we'll
program
switch out when we pull that out.
where we are putting together shortbread, eggnog, which you just missed, and
really
now
tasty.
Christmas cake. Or no, sorry, not Christmas cake, fruitcake specifically.
Fruitcake. Well, it says Christmas cake in the Merchants of Canada ledger.
Blue Chloroplast also asked earlier about the difference between this Christmas cake and Japanese Christmas cake.
I don't know, but I expect they're pretty different, considering Christmas is a relatively new novel thing in Japan.
Yes, and is generally considered a
It's a romantic holiday for couples.
Exactly.
You go to KFC.
Yep. You go to KFC, but
It's
you have
not a
to-
joke,
But you
it's-
make reservations to KFC first.
Well, otherwise they'd be absolutely slammed.
Exactly.
You can't just walk into KFC on Christmas and
I-
expect to find a table.
Found that out firsthand. You can't even get takeout. If you show up without a
No, are you
reservation,
kidding me?
There is no chicken. The chicken is gone.
Yeah.
No, the Japanese Christmas cake is generally it's a romantic cake for couples.
Basically, they've been not a romantic cake. Japanese Christmas is.
Yeah,
a romantic-
yes.
Yeah. They were like, this is North American, and you have turkey. We don't really have turkey in Japan, but we have chicken, and KFC is from North America. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to KFC for Christmas.
So you'll often find a decoration style cake, usually white with strawberries on it and other red things to indicate Christmas. But what they may have been referring to is the concept of Christmas cake, which is a derogatory term for women over the age of 25 who are unmarried.
In Japan?
Yes, the idea being that nobody wants Christmas cake after the 25th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So if
That's
you're-
harsh.
It is a terrible term, but
25?
yep, very young.
That's so young.
Combining birth
Okay,
rates.
so we should be
So
shortbready.
I'm reevaluating my
30
philosophy on
seconds.
Christmas
Go ahead.
cake.
Yeah.
Christmas cake is great. You can eat it at all times of the year.
You bet. And it preserves well.
You just
All
have
that,
to
all that rum,
you just have to keep it drowned in rum. What?
Brandy, please.
brandy.
Yes.
All right, your eggs have been whisked, sir.
Excellent. How well creamed do you think this needs to be?
You shouldn't see lumps of butter.
Well, we got a while to go then, which is great because that's been an hour. So you and I are going to trade places.
Okay.
So.
Trade places.
Oops, sorry. All right,
And
I'll keep working at this while you take charge about what's going on with the
Let's-
shortbread.
If Ian can assist
I will endeavor.
with
Goes away.
And we'll have, let's put one here and one here.
There and there.
One here and one on the rack.
There we go.
Here.
I don't think the electric whisk would work for creaming the
No,
butter
no,
and
you
sugar,
would definitely
no.
not want to do that.
There's that.
Boggles Ermine? Yes, that is a Starkfather. In fact, it is mine.
You get that thing with when you use it like an electric beater or an electric whisk on like a butter thing where you turn it on, and after about 10 seconds, all you've done is moved all of the butter into the whisk.
One right there.
Yeah.
Like, well, this hasn't actually
Oh.
helped us.
Ooh, that's a bit.
Bit done.
That went a little crispier than usual.
Okay.
How's the other one?
And we'll get the
Wire. That one looks a little bit more normal color-wise.
right. So first time in the toaster oven, and I'd
Would you
like
like
one of
a-
these.
Yes.
Typically, we recommend using a normal oven just because we know that's more consistent. But the toaster oven's all we had. And
Not too bad.
we can't make the fruitcake on stream, so we wanted to at least make something.
So the shortbread has come out in two slightly different colors, and the paler one is the correct one.
Yeah.
The slightly darker one is a bit overdone, but I bet it tastes great. And what we do at this point, sharp knife, hot pan, and you cut it into squares while it's still in the pan. About just an inch, bigger than an inch, whatever that is in centimeters.
2.54 says Beach.
Thank you, Beej.
So a little bigger,
Our instant translator for metric. Thank you.
a little bigger than an inch, so like three centimeters.
Yeah.
So the idea is you're cutting it while it's still
Cut it while it's still hot.
So it's got a little bit of flexibility because once it cools down, it'll be very brittle, I guess.
Yes, it does indeed, and you'll probably have to adjust it when you're mentally doing it. They don't have to be square.
Oh, I can smell that now.
It smells fabulous. Now, if it's all mixed up absolutely properly, you don't get little pockets of butter which have cooked beautifully, but a bit more consistency is advisable when you're doing it at home. And so once you do this, going in each direction, and you can do this in a round pan and make little like pie-shaped wedges, but this is sort of usual and easier to cut consistently. Then traditionally you take a fork and if we can get an overhead
Yeah, let's bring that right into about there. Perfect.
out there, does that show?
A little closer to Ian and more to his right.
Okay,
There we go.
there we go. A traditional way is to take a fork and mark each square with 4 holes in a diagonal. And this isn't probably showing up
No.
quite as well. Is
Showing
that
up
showing
fine.
up okay?
Oh, yeah.
It's showing up better on camera than it is with
Great.
my eyes.
So, and that's just a traditional decoration for shortbread.
Yep. It has no
No significance.
It has no mechanical purpose,
Nope.
but just it's how shortbread looks.
You need to come up with it's like this
And
is
it looks.
for the 4 apostles who did
Yeah.
come up with some like ancient
We
reason.
could say that. It's,
Yeah.
it's an ancient Scottish tradition, and the 4 holes are key to the understanding and enjoyment. But no, it actually just makes
as
it
a-
look nicer on a plate.
As a Celtic scholar, you need to understand.
Yes,
Is this like flattening your peanut butter cookies with a fork?
Exactly the same
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do peanut butter cookies have the fork on them? Don't know. They just do. If you see a cookie with the fork thing on it, it's like, oh, it's peanut butter cookie. It's got to be, right?
it's an instant identifier.
Chat says you missed 3
Well,
because
you don't get to have those.
they can see them better than you can.
Okay.
No, on the
It's-
other
On the
one.
other one, I
Oh
missed
yeah,
3.
wow, right in the middle there.
Indeed.
That one and to the left of it and up from that one. There you go. Nailed it.
Ah, dude.
Thank you. Excellent. So, and I'd suggest at this point, as tempting as it is to try to pry one out,
Oh, it's so tempting.
you can't do it until it cools for probably 5 to 10 minutes. easy.
Hey Siri, set 5-minute timer.
And then, what's really neat about shortbread is we've never had it stay longer than about, a nanosecond in the house.
Yeah.
Because everybody eats it. But I was backpacking around Europe after university years ago. And I must have kept sending letters home. No texting, no messages, no email. At that point, I was sending postcards home. Arrived in Switzerland. I'm still hungry. I'm in Italy. I'm very hungry. My mother took pity on me and sent me a box of shortbread. What? So this arrived at the youth hostel. This big box of shortbread. And we're backpacking. And this thing weighed about 8 pounds.
Right.
Yeah. And thinking, oh God, what can I send him? He's starving in Europe. And I'm going, well, all these great restaurants and wonderful places you can buy stuff and cheese factories and everything else. And I was only hungry because we were like, hiking everywhere and backpacking and all this stuff and eating it. Anyway, all this stuff arrived, opened it up and shared it around the youth hostel in midsummer. So and with some very wary people going, and what's this? Going, my mother made it, eat it. It's good stuff. So anyway, it does keep very well if you have to. Transatlantic flights and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the suggestion in the chat that the 4 holes are the 4 drones and the chanter on a set of bagpipes.
Possibly.
Yeah, it
Possibly.
all makes sense.
So I have now,
I'll have to wear my kilt next time.
as you can see,
Ooh,
I have now exhaustively creamed together this sugar and butter, and it is now one consistency,
Great, let's see.
one mass. Yeah, tuck in. Sugar and butter. I mean, we did that once on an Iron Stomach Challenge. I wouldn't actually recommend it, but the next step. Oh, my phone's over there. I'm going to trade you back while we wait for the shortbread to cool.
We will do that.
Let's rotate the Starks. Da, 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 da,
Da,
da,
da,
da.
da.
All right. I'm going to slide this over here. So now,
Having just attempted to take one out, it's still crumbly. It does indeed have to cool before you take them out in nice little squares.
so now we add the beaten eggs, which Ian has beaten for me over here. So this is 4 eggs. Again, this we can provide this whole recipe. I tweeted it earlier. I'm sure someone can link it in the chat.
And you didn't have to do any separating of this. It's just
No, this is just eggs. So add the eggs. And then once I've stirred this in, then I will be folding in the flour and baking soda. So, actually, Dad, if you want to measure out the flour, which is 2.5 cups.
Okay. This is the cup.
Yep. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, we're double bagged.
It does make a lovely consistency.
There we go. That's a lot easier to work with. the pure sugar and butter was a little challenging. Yeah. So we'll just gradually fold it in. So let's just leave it there for a second. Let me just get some folding going on here.
Someone in the chat says that looks oddly like ground beef with nacho cheese.
Sure.
It's those orange yolks.
If that's what gets you festive.
Check the color on your monitor. This looks okay.
Yeah, well, it might be the cameras as well. Who knows?
As we say on this show, adjust your gamma, please.
All right, that feels pretty good. Sure, let's fold in the second of 2.5 cups.
Oh, 2.5?
Yep.
Okay. I can do a half one of these.
Great. Well, we do have a half cup measure also
Okay.
if you want to. You're just going to wing it up.
I'm going to wing it because I was a little short on a couple of those.
All right. Oh, and we also need the teaspoon of baking soda.
Which is somewhere.
It's in one of those small. It's one of the small bags.
Sure.
We just figured we'd get it all at once.
That looks like baking soda.
Yeah, it's the white one.
Baking soda. Where are the measuring spoons?
Right here. And we're going to use this. We're going to be using the teaspoon a lot.
So how many?
1 teaspoon? Yes, 1 teaspoon. That was your 5-minute timer, Beach?
Okay.
That
Maybe let's give it another few.
that recipe that Graham tweeted out. You said it's got it in weight as well, Graham.
Yeah, so the well, it's got weight for a bunch of the stuff, and then cups for other things. Like what I did is I did a metric conversion for people, but some of the stuff in this is in cups and teaspoons, like a lot of baking, and other ingredients are measured in pounds, and so I did a grams conversion for people who prefer metric. But some of it is not. You can do your own conversion if you want to get how many cups of sugar.
Yeah, there's metric, imperial, and then whatever the heck cups and teaspoons are.
Yeah, well, it's imperial by volume as opposed to weight.
Put that under the vertical.
They're like the baking
Here's what we're-
measurements.
Yes.
Here's
I don't know why we have those, but
Vertical.
I really would like to recommend anyone out there that if
Vertical camera.
Here's what we've got going on here. So that's what that's looking like now.
Ooh, that is a dough.
That sure is. Now, in a different bowl. So that red one, I think.
such extravagance.
Yes. Actually, I guess I'll leave
Oh,
this over there.
everywhere.
Mix all the fruit and spices, and I assume that also includes the nuts. So this is basically everything else. So we have raisins. So we've got these are nice big raisins too. These are huge, actually.
Yeah, the crop of Thompsons this year has been amazing.
I don't think these are Thompsons. These are it was on the receipt. These are some
Nope. No receipt.
some different kind of raisins. So let's see if we can actually zero this thing correctly. Zero.
While you're doing that, I will say, go and buy a kitchen scale if you don't have one and have the means. It makes cooking a lot easier when you deal with weight, just to be able to put one bowl on the scale and just add your ingredient up to the required amount.
Which in this case is, because it's a pound, 454-ish grams, which should be just about what we grabbed because we measured at the store, or a little under. Either way. So, a pound of raisins. Oh yeah, Ian, could you do some more prep for me?
Sure thing.
Here I have some dates.
Great.
And they are dates are quite large. There's a date, and they should not be quite so large. So could you chop some dates?
I will.
We are.
Oh, we're using the cutting board.
No, why don't we put that on an angled hot
Yeah.
on top of the other one?
Oh yeah, here, Beach. I'll just. I got you. It's okay. I'll
Thank
take care
you.
of that.
As the unmarried man on stream, I will accept your unused dates.
Please do. All right. So here, if you want
Are you looking for it to stay sliced in the middle or
the cutting board, I think probably into several pieces.
raisin sized?
I think here, Beach, for
And
your
are they
benefit.
stoned?
That I really hope they've been pitted, because that'll be supremely irritating. Okay, it looks like they've been pitted.
Thank goodness.
So just like calamari, Ian.
Gotcha.
There we go. Little. That looks quite dark, but yeah, just little rings like that.
Time to find the dates. I'm going to move this just down here for the moment.
In the meantime, I'm going to get another pound of fruit over here. In this case, currants, which we were able to get at the bulk barn, which was encouraging because I wasn't sure we'd be able to find them there. Definitely gonna. I've got a little bit of loss in the currents here as they're escaping from me. Yeah. Wow, we measured this very, very closely on all fronts. We're going to just use all the currants, which is great. We're not going to have like 2 or 3 currants left over. So, pound of raisins, pound of currants, and a pound of dates.
Chopped.
Yes, chopped. Generally speaking, dates are. Where is that? Why am I putting that away? Generally speaking, the dates are going to need to be chopped. So currants are from a fruit tree that is illegal to grow in North America. Well, that's not technically true anymore, but that is a big part of why black currant, at least, wasn't grown in North America for a time.
It's only, I believe it was only ever certain parts of North America.
Yeah, it was. There was a problem that
Eastern.
yeah, in the northeastern U.S., there was was it pine trees or fir trees?
There was a blight anyway.
Yeah, there was some sort of blight that affected a tree crop that was basically black currants were the disease vector, and so they banned black currant growth to stop the to stop the disease being transferred between pine trees. Oh, pine blister rust. That's it. So that's why black currant never really took off as a flavor in North America, just because they weren't as easy to get. But this is a more British recipe, so currants if you can get them. If you can't,
Would like a blueberry or something be like a dried blueberry be sort
Maybe.
of like a?
There's different types of raisins too.
That's
yeah,
true. You
yeah,
get
maybe
like,
just get two different kinds of
get
raisins.
like sultanas and
Yeah, sultanas maybe.
What sort of amperage are you looking at here?
And
Amperage?
Yeah, for your current.
Please stop.
and you say,
There's already been a fair amount of
Here,
current.
have you tried? They do taste similar
I
to
have
raisins.
not tried this.
Chat.
Yeah.
Can you get Concord grapes dried? Into
I don't know.
Concord
Oh,
grapes?
cranberries, actually. Actually, cranberries would be a wonderful change, I think. If you can't get currants, try cranberries. Might even try to do cranberries next time we do this.
Something
like,
I've been
like craisins.
Yeah.
Or would you get actually?
Yeah, no. You want
Dried.
to get them dried, yeah.
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 actually one,
you can use them in an amazing number of things. The dried cranberries.
one of my next projects is actually going to be
The-
making my own raisins. So that could be something we could try.
You need more sun. And a good way to do what you're doing is using food scissors.
Yeah, that
Oh
would
yeah, food scissors for getting through the
be
dates
much.
makes
Yep.
it a lot less
Yep.
of a pain. So yeah,
In fact, I'm going to change my.
in this case, raisins, currants, dates. One of the other things is mixed peel,
You've got to show that on the overhead
Yeah,
because
let's-
it's really pretty.
which is or on this one. Oh, look at that! There you. Wow, the
that's-
maximum zoomage.
Oh,
There we go. Mixed. So this is this particular one. This is just general citrus peel, so it's mostly oranges and lemons. And I guess you could do this yourself, but why would you when you can just buy mixed peel? So that goes in there as well, and it's a pound of whoopsies. I may have overshot that. It's actually a cup of mixed peel, but this was almost definitely a cup. I think it was actually exactly a cup because Kathleen weighed it.
would that be like a candied peel, or is that just straight
It
out?
looks slightly
This
candied.
is candied.
Yeah,
It's sold as candied peel.
yeah. Well, it was at the bulk store as just mixed peel.
But I guess if it wasn't candied, then it would be going rotten.
Yeah,
I guess you can't just buy
It's
peel.
part,
that
no,
hasn't
it's
been-
part of the preservation
yeah.
technique is to candy it.
So you can just tell how much more fruit there is than the dough. So also, and I'll try to measure this a little bit better, a quarter pound of almonds and a quarter pound of walnuts. So after my metric transition, 113 grams of each.
Now, I would also ask. You mentioned the nuts. Are any of these ingredients changeable?
I feel
Very
like
little?
I feel like the spirit of this cake is that once you make the dough that we did, which you should probably keep that basically like it is. I feel like after that you can kind of wing it. Like
Okay.
I actually, now that someone said cranberries, I wish I was putting cranberries in this one.
And like if you don't like I'm not personally a big fan of the candied peel stuff.
I love the candied peel. Not a huge fan of walnuts. So I might not put walnuts in mine if I was doing this myself, which I'm doing it now. But if I was to adapt this recipe, you can make your own
But, yeah,
make your
like
own
I-
tradition.
I feel like it's just if you see something that looks tasty, you can experiment with different ones too.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody suggested dried cherries would be good.
So there's,
yeah.
this is chopped.
Yeah. So this is again chopped walnuts. You can often get like segmented walnuts and then further chop them, but this is the sort of the consistency you're looking for the walnuts. The almonds, all we could get were slivers, and we're going to have to chop these a little bit more because the slivers are a little big.
Pecans are
this is
also
this is a fine level for walnuts.
You want to go easy on the pecans, though. Those are pretty rich.
Yeah.
Spanish
And the
peanuts
nuts
and
provide
M&Ms.
the nuts provide a density and a crunch, which all the fruit doesn't.
Yeah, you definitely. I would be wary of removing the nuts altogether because I think from a textural perspective you really do need them.
Yes.
Like you say.
Yeah.
But you could definitely have some. You could have some fun with the nuts. That is basically all the nuts. Yeah.
Probably fine.
Just all the almonds. All right. So how are the dates going in?
They're coming along.
Well, we only need a certain amount of them. How many do we need? Right, a pound. So yeah. Well, let's see what you've got so far.
Please.
How are you doing?
It's really
They're fine.
Kind of a pain to cut, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right. Someone had to do it.
it's really a dried fruit loaf is what you're doing. Like you're
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like the cake part of the fruit cake in this recipe is merely there to hold together all the fruit and the nuts. So
How are we doing there?
we need about that much again.
Go. Okay.
So I'll chuck those in.
I'll do my best to get these going quicker.
We have another knife? Yes. Use this one. Here, fire some my way.
Okay.
We can tag team this. Dad, feel free to take any questions from the chat.
I'll take questions if I can, and I'll start stirring this up and mixing it because it's.
I did notice a few
Wow.
people had mentioned that had asked if we had imbibed the nog. Yes, the nog has been completed.
yeah.
It's quick to make and quick to drink.
It was delicious.
It's very good.
I had more. Skyboss, I would agree with you. I think sunflower seeds is probably not something you'd want to include in the fruitcake. I don't think it's just the right kind of nut or seed.
So there's that question that says if you have a nut allergy, what would be a good replacement for? Because the nuts
That's
are
tricky.
The nuts
Well-
are mostly about the texture, right?
And well, what's interesting is I am not a nut allergy, but I do have a nut sensitivity. If we're making like banana bread, which usually has bananas and walnuts in,
Yeah.
we found a great substitute is
right.
grape nuts,
Right.
which gives a lovely crisp texture, but has no nut.
That's the cereal, right?
The cereal.
Yeah,
Just
grape
great,
nuts.
grape
Do
nuts.
love me some grape
and
nuts.
it provides a body to the banana bread, which the nuts usually provide, and it tastes really great. So it actually just substitutes a different kind of crunch.
Maybe
And I would never have thought to do that.
pumpkin seed maybe might be another one if that's different enough nut-wise.
That's a possibility. This is what's fun about cooking, is you can substitute stuff and see whether it works for you.
Yeah, I'm just going from the recipe we've used, but you can definitely use this as a base for your own. And I would recommend that you do, because it's a lot of fun.
I'm already thinking about
Doing,
what sort of...
you know,
We've-
festive bakings. and
We've
it's
also
tasty.
started using dried cranberries in a host of recipes. Rice and creamed turkey after Thanksgiving,
Oh,
with dried cranberries thrown into that, and then all put on top of rice is really good.
I
Yeah.
personally can see this recipe with what is it? Dried apricots
Yep.
and
You'd have to cut them up like these dates.
and dried cherries being quite decadent.
Cherries might be a reasonable size that you wouldn't have to cut them up. I guess it depends on what size of cherry.
Never heard of grape nut ice cream,
No.
which somebody's asking about.
Huh.
Sounds interesting.
Saw someone in chat asking how sticky these knives are. The answer is very.
Extremely.
Yeah, working with dates, I think this is actually this is the most annoying part of the entire process.
Going with the thick-bladed knife was not a good idea.
Just because there's more for the dates to
Yep.
grip.
This is one of those areas where a food processor might not be a bad idea.
Is there a particular brandy you would use? Well, in terms of
Brandy.
liquors, I would defer to Ian on that. To be honest, you're the brandy guy.
For the inside of this, I mean, the St. Remy's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, if you want something to put in yourself, you can go upscale, but
Like this brandy is going in is going into a fruitcake. So it's not. It doesn't really need to be anything particularly fancy. So bear that in mind. If you want to get something that you can double up with that you can also enjoy yourself later, then sure. But there's no sense in wasting good brandy on a fruitcake.
Not that it would be a waste.
It's not a waste, but
Is this a en flambe kind of circumstance?
No. This is not the lighting the Christmas pudding, which we also do. But that's not this.
Yes, Skyboss puts it in a good argument, like third from bottom tier.
You'd probably put it in like that.
Just put them in without
they're
chopping them?
smaller than this. They're smaller than these lumps.
That's a
true.
good. That's a good.
Yeah, you know what? We're just going to call that these almond slivers are probably fine the way they are.
Yeah.
That's a good rule of thumb. If the brandy comes in a plastic bottle, it's probably too low shelf. You probably want to go the next step above that one.
Yeah, which we did. This is glass.
Well, the other thing about ingredients is you certainly have variables on things like the brandy. Generally, if you can manage real vanilla.
Now, what do we have
as an example?
What is this, Beach?
That is
This is
real vanilla.
Real vanilla from Mexico.
That is Mexican vanilla.
That is, I believe that's the same bottle that I took my portions out of.
Imitation vanilla
Eh,
is something completely different. It's like the difference between maple sugar and, or not maple sugar, maple syrup and other syrups.
I don't actually have specific directions for where to put what step to put the vanilla in. So maybe this should be in the. Maybe I should add this to the other thing before we add the fruit. So
Sure.
I would think so.
but we got to get all the spices. That's the key that we haven't done yet. We got to get all the spices.
And
into
we
the-
have lots of spices. All
and I'll give that-
sorts
Don't
of
worry
spices.
about if you go a little over on the vanilla.
Oh no! In fact,
You can use more than you think. Wow, that smells amazing.
honestly
All right.
found that double up on vanilla is just
ground
fine.
allspice.
So, spice-wise, this is interesting. This calls for half a teaspoon of cloves, half a teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of mace, and 1 teaspoon of mixed spice. So when we were at the store, we were like, what is mixed spice? And that's not something that you really get.
That's different from allspice.
Yes. So we have cloves, allspice, mace, and mixed spice. So mixed spice is basically a combination of a bunch of different spices. Thank you, Beach. Specifically, allspice, mace, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, coriander, and ginger in different amounts. So we're going to basically make our own mixed spice because you can't just buy it like that. And actually, Ian, is your nutmeg still handy?
Yes, it is.
Because we got some nutmeg, but let's use some fresh ground nutmeg
I'll
because
go
why
grab it.
not?
And I would be so super careful with cloves.
Yeah. So
Oh, super careful.
Fresh ground, artisanal.
All this stuff is great.
Heritage
Cloves
nutmeg.
cloves can be deadly if you have too much.
So half a teaspoon. Let's get the cloves.
I wouldn't even want that much.
All right. Well, we'll do a little bit. We'll do a little less than that then.
I'm with you, Stuart.
Yeah, no, cloves are
But it's such a
extremely intense.
it's such an emblematic scent of the season, though. You
have
know?
you ever chewed a clove?
No,
Don't.
I wasn't planning on it. Why would I chew a clove?
That's enough.
Really?
Yeah,
That's barely a quarter of a teaspoon.
that's fine.
All right.
You have lots of other beautiful spices here, which are delicious and olfactory.
All right.
Oh,
So which one's this?
that's allspice.
Allspice. Here, could you actually tip that up? We should be right on track for about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
These aren't quite tasty little glass bottles.
I know we didn't have time.
How can a
I bought all this afternoon.
how can a spice
this
contain
full?
allspice? That just doesn't make any sense.
Allspice is a term for a mixture of 3 different spices.
Do we know a little more?
So
Do we know which ones?
And this
I
mixed
can't
spice
remember.
is a term for
All right, great.
a further mixture.
Yes,
I believe it's cinnamon.
it's sort of an all-purpose mixed spice, but allspice is a distinct 3 different kinds, and I can't remember what they are at the moment.
Mace.
Mace. We have mace. Mace. Ground mace at that.
Does allspice contain itself?
Oh,
Allspice is a single spice.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
How much for this?
allspice is an aromatic dried berry of the allspice tree.
That's what I thought.
Otherwise
Yeah.
known as
Okay, good.
Pimenta
That's good.
dioica.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know
Why would they
call
name
it
a tree allspice?
Maybe because it smelled like all spices.
You
It's-
thought it was a different spice.
It's somebody even says it's just another name for pimento, and I'm like, I don't think that's true, but maybe it is.
Maybe in the same family.
Stand corrected.
Ian,
That,
you want to
that, you know,
grab
tree-
some nutmeg up in here?
How much are
Yeah,
we looking
cinnamon.
for?
Just a little bit. Just like a hint.
Well,
It's-
cinnamon is supposed to have.
the nutmeg is
Here we are.
making up a portion of the 1 teaspoon of mixed
Oh,
spice.
lordy, then yes.
So that's probably good cinnamon wise.
Cinnamon's good.
Yeah.
Also has health benefits. Don't know what the
Oh,
benefits
give
are
that a
offhand.
sniff.
So maybe it was like
Oh,
a
wow.
marketing thing. Some guy
This
was
one just has a number.
Yeah.
Which was the one with just the number?
some guy was like, I just found this new spice.
Ginger. That must
No,
be ginger.
no, this
And
is
we have
ginger.
Which is the one that doesn't have wasn't labeled.
No label.
What's
Can
the
I give
one-
it a sniff?
what's
It's
the
a
one you
mystery
spelled?
spice.
But somebody was just like,
What else is on that list?
This
Oh,
is
this
not-
is that's the nutmeg.
That's the nutmeg.
That'll be the nutmeg,
Okay.
which we don't need because
Oh,
we just had the
God,
fresh
Graham,
nutmeg.
give that a smell that.
Ooh,
Now smell this.
yeah. Here, smell the difference between
Here, let me give it a fresh grind.
this is
too.
Ian's. Yeah, just do it right in here. The difference
All right.
between Ian's fresh ground nutmeg.
freshly ground nutmeg.
So give that a sniff.
It's lovely.
And then this is the nutmeg that we've managed to avoid using.
Different.
Yeah, it smells
It's-
artificial.
Almost chemical.
Yeah,
That's weird. There we
probably
go.
because it is.
yeah. And then could you the ginger
Well, you don't know where these things come from.
bulk barn.
Other bulk establishments
What part
are
of the
available.
world do these come from?
Bulk barn.
And what have they been adulterated with?
Bulk barn.
How long have they been
Here,
sitting
over
around
the center.
Well, it's moving.
I know.
That's probably
Not
plenty of that.
right.
Okay.
All right, great.
There we go.
I wish we could have got fresh ground ginger now. All right. So that is all of the spices and all of the fruit and the nuts. And goodness me, look at this. Look at this size
Oh, wow.
of this. This, by the way, this recipe makes several. This is at home. We would do these in.
Looks like you have a bowl of just
We'd make
really
we'd
fancy
make about
granola.
five.
Yeah.
Five about this big.
Yeah, some round cake forms. This time we're doing loaves because this is what we have.
This bowl contains multitudes.
Yep. And I'm not sure at what point we're supposed to add the brandy, but I guess we'll do that after we mix this all together. Okay. And now, da 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 da.
Put that under the overhead.
Yeah. Look at this.
What
Look
can
at that.
That is.
Yeah.
Smell that.
It's just an extremely fruity filled granola is basically what you've made there.
it's astonishing.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
And it's going to taste even better. So then we just gradually add the mixed fruit and spices to here and try to mix it evenly. And this is going to be, oh boy.
Try to stick them together.
Yeah, the dough's been sitting for a little bit, so
It's
it's,
a very stiff dough.
yeah, it's probably should have maybe done that second, but here we are.
How's the brandy now?
That might not be a bad idea.
Actually, it would loosen it up.
Yeah, let's do that. So here we have the brandy and half a cup. Where's the half cup measure?
Which one is half a cup?
That's a quarter.
Not,
That's a
not
third.
half a brandy snifter.
There we go. Half a cup.
Well, I mean, it depends on the size of your snifter.
So as I mentioned, we should have made this some time ago, and then been opening it up every week or 2 weeks to pour brandy all over the top. My mom also mentioned that traditionally, the ladies of the house, because of course they'd be the ones doing the cooking, would poke knitting needles into the top of it to make sure that the brandy would soak all the way down.
After it's cooked.
Yeah. This is after. This is when you're opening it back up on the regular to pour brandy all over it. That smells amazing.
After the yes.
That's wonderful.
After the whole thing is baked and wrapped in wax paper,
Yeah.
then it would be unwrapped, knitting needles, brandy, wrapped back up again.
Yeah.
So the what
Wow.
the difference in this particular, because you're not going to be marinating it for so long.
Yeah, it just won't be quite as strong in the brandy flavor, and it might not. I guess it might not be as soft. I'm not actually sure. I just know that that's how you're supposed to do it.
Does the brandy like evaporate, or is it?
Alcohol evaporates.
Well, the alcohol will
Yeah.
evaporate, but the flavor of the brandy will stay.
Right.
You're definitely going to lose some to the baking process.
Yeah.
And
So
then
as you can see, if you can see, I still have much more fruit to add, and you see how little actual cake there is comparatively. This doesn't rise very much. It's very, very dense.
It
So-
looks like it's going to be just a glue holding, as you said
Yeah.
at the opening.
Yeah, it's basically. Well, I'll just put the rest of it in.
So it's mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The true secret to the Portland cement. A lot of brandy.
And so, the reason that we can't cook this on the show tonight is because you bake in what is called a slow oven, which is 325 for like 3 to 4 hours.
Oh.
Like you cook this for a while.
Low and slow.
This seems like another situation where you could theoretically get in there with your hands to really mix it up, I guess.
Probably.
The stickiness
You
level I'm
could,
seeing
but
there would not.
this one seems to.
Save it before you leave splinters.
I just bought these. There's no splinters.
That's
That's a thick mix right there.
Wow. Well,
Make sure you have sturdy kitchen utensils
Yeah,
when you're
don't buy your-
attempting this recipe.
don't buy your wooden spoons at Walmart.
boy, yeah, half a cup of brandy is just strong enough to snap an entire spoon.
It's a thick mixture.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this is pretty much blended.
Good thing you didn't get your hands in there.
Yeah, who
your
knows what
fingers-
would have happened?
Break your fingers off.
Snap off at the wrist.
Well, it wouldn't be a proper Tinker Tailor without something going wrong.
Yeah, so here we go. Check that out on the overhead there. Look at how thick that is. Carefully, you want to
That
hold
is
pretty close to the
Very.
close to
Choke your spoon.
Yeah, that would show up on the force gauge.
Yeah, and so the dough, it doesn't really this doesn't rise exactly. It just the dough will expand enough to make it look like just enough to make it look like a loaf as opposed to a pile of sticky fruit.
The sugar and the butter and the brandy are just already the smell of this is heavenly.
I'm really excited.
It's really opening up the fruit.
Yeah. So here, let's
This
actually.
is always the hardest part on the way we have our camera set up done.
Yeah. Well, I have a spatula as well. Here, could you help me
Yeah,
take some of the
I'll give
weight
that a
there?
hold.
Ah, lovely. And then hopefully Beach can get some sort of angle on this. So, like I said, we would used to do this in like round spring form cake pans. Spring form meaning that like there's a latch on the outside, and then when they're done, you can pop it off, and then the outside walls pop, and they'd be like 9 inches or whatever. And we're just going to do these as loaves because it's what we have.
We have loaf pans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to that one afterwards because I'm just going to sort of divide them up roughly evenly, and hopefully we didn't make too much. And then then we'll take them away and, like I said, bake them for 3 to 4 hours because that's just how long it takes. And I knew I really wanted to do this on the stream to show you how to do a real fruitcake, but couldn't actually show you the afters and didn't have, wasn't able to do like, here's the one I prepared earlier.
Dr. Fox asks an important question.
Ah.
These pans do not look pre-greased. Should
Nope.
they be greased?
Nah. There's half a pound of butter in
All
here.
right.
They're non-stick pans, so I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think you need to worry about greasing them, but these also just happen to be non-stick pans, so
That's fair.
I'm not super concerned.
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's
That they could have been greased and floured.
yeah, they probably could have been. It didn't.
Probably not necessary.
It
but
wasn't listed in the ingredients Mum sent, or the directions Mum sent, so If you're still watching and you want to text me any update on that, let me know. But as it happens, these are non-stick, so I haven't just goozled myself.
Either it's a mistake that you will never make again,
Yeah.
or viewer's choice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say with the shortbread, it's worthwhile. Like you were saying, you don't have to do it in a non-stick pan. And what with the cutting it while it's in the pan thing, you definitely don't want to do it in a
after a
non-stick.
tragic fruitcake incident.
Which?
We were admitted to hospital after
Tragic
a tragic
fruitcake
fruitcake
incident? Yeah, like, oh, it'll probably be fine. Cut to ambulance. Why? And I just want to get all of this out of here.
Someone also mentioned
That's pretty even.
that the concept of neon-colored fruit.
Oh, yeah, no, I dislike those.
Yeah.
What are those fruit?
I think they're cherries, mostly.
Yeah, usually maraschino
Yeah,
cherries.
like maraschino
in-
cherries. Oh, that's good. It's empty.
What are the green ones?
Maraschino
maraschino
cherries. Because
Different dye.
the red maraschino cherries, they're bleached and then dyed that color.
Right.
So
it's
the
just
green
different-
ones are just bleached and then dyed green.
Green.
Why, when you could have this? So yeah, look how much that made.
That's. I mean,
Considering how big it was. That's
considering
what,
you mentioned
why am I so amazed by that?
you mentioned several different fruits in
Pounds. Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's not really that surprising. But so yeah, like I said, these look quite full, but they won't rise very much. They'll just sort of fill out, and there you go. So that's fruitcake, and basically gonna bake these, wrap them up, and then I know we only have like a surprisingly small number of weeks between now and Christmas, but opening them up and then putting the brandy over them, and then we can have them on Christmas.
Will you end up using the entire bottle of brandy?
I don't think so. I don't actually know how much you're supposed to put over it, but there's an awful lot of brandy left over, so I don't think you. I think you just sort of
Drizzle.
yeah, just drizzle it, splash it over the. Like you're not trying to drown it, right?
Oh yeah.
It's to add flavor.
Yeah.
It's not to become an alcoholic treat.
Yeah, because it doesn't retain any of the alcohol, right?
Well,
So, and then post them on Twitter. Oh yeah, no, I'll keep you updated.
it would lose the alcohol during baking.
Yeah. And then the alcohol that
After-
you pour
af-
on would evaporate.
Some of it.
Some of it.
You,
it's
you
not-
have heard of chocolate liqueurs.
Oh yes, yes. It's the point. The point of putting the brandy on is not to make these alcoholic. It is for that flavor. It's not going to retain. Having a slice of this is not going to be like having a finger of brandy.
But this is also something you can't rush. It's not like you can go in every day and just get the bottle with over it.
Yeah, that's not, that makes no sense. Yeah. So there we go.
So we can move. We
Yeah.
can move this.
Shift these over here.
And
now
I can cut
You
and
can unveil
unveil the
in its finality.
While you guys are
shortcake,
moving around
shortbread.
there, I'm gonna grab this.
I like somebody was saying there's the British style fruitcake, which is a nice boozy dessert, and then there's the American style fruitcake, which is a way of bootleggers to try and hide as much alcohol as possible.
Still warm.
Okay.
But
That
not
one
bad.
can slide.
Can I get that?
Okay.
Can I get that damp rag?
Oh yes.
I got that sticky fingers.
This is the right one.
Oh, that's
can use it.
datey.
It's datey.
Oh, there we go. That's the one we were using.
That's the one we use. Okay.
Everything's a little datey now.
So now the pan is cool enough to the touch, and you might have to recut on your already cut scribe marks.
I don't want to say MTV CDM. We do not do. This is what I prepared earlier on Tinker Tailor.
Exactly.
Everything that's in the show is in the show.
I mean, this is
The one I did half an hour ago.
This
I'll
was
just bring
earlier,
out
just
now.
not that much earlier.
The one cooked by the professional bakers in the
Yes.
back. Yes.
Yeah.
And then they come out
Oh wow! Just like that. Wow!
just like that in lovely, lovely squares.
I am amazed.
Let's go to Beej's angle on that. See them in the pan actually, just how easily they pop out. Yeah. Whoa.
See,
That's
just
like nothing.
Cause almost
pop,
there.
pop them out
Yeah.
in little squares. Once they're cooled down,
Because they just shrink just enough to.
they become a little more solid, and you can just pop them out and put them on a plate.
Knock, knock, open up the door. Who's there? The non-stop pop-up of shortbread squares.
That's right. Stop it.
Wow. Ian, that was really good.
Thank you.
I had an improv rap come together
And there we go.
today when we were calling out subs. That
Shortbread,
rhymed with the
shortbread.
following sub.
That'll
Shortbread ready for Christmas.
Oh,
Lovely.
Scottish shortbread.
absolutely beautiful.
I'm eating
And
one.
it smells terrific.
I'm going to.
Oh, it's still slightly warm.
Pardon the fingers.
Not at all. Thank you.
Even in a toaster oven.
Yeah, worked out
So-
just fine.
So all you students who are in dorms and have no other cooking alternative, you can still make this.
Yeah, there you go.
So I see what you're saying about the slight crispness. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what that would be like, but just, yeah, all
It's
along
a
the
nice
bottom.
texture on the teeth.
Wow.
There's a question about flavoring, like someone saying putting some sort of like fruit zest in it, like
Into the
lemon or-
shortbread?
lemon or lime or orange.
I guess you could.
I think people have done that.
Would you with zest or like an essential oil? One of those things.
A tiny bit of zest. You could probably do it, but I don't like gilding the lily. And there's times, we were talking about it the other day, about just wanting to get a plain pork breakfast sausage.
Yes.
And it's impossible to find a plain pork breakfast sausage.
you-
They are all artisanal, hickory smoked infused lavender apple, and all I want is a pork sausage because they taste really good.
Yeah. Pork,
Ooh, like
ground
a,
up, and maybe some salt.
like an sort of an Earl Grey tea could be quite
Ooh,
nice.
yeah. You could probably like grind
Bergamot
up
in there.
tea. Oh yeah, you could put just put bergamot in. Sorry,
Thinking like a
I
London,
know you've plated it beautifully.
a London fog equivalent of the shortbread could be quite nice.
Anyway, nothing better than this shortbread, cup of hot chocolate, sitting around a fire, and under the Christmas tree. And it's just a great treat. And easy. Gosh, it's easy.
So easy.
I will have to put together a plate of this for the Canadian Christmas coming up. That would be
So, from my grandmother to all of you guys,
If any of you
enjoy the recipe.
If any of you make this, please do tweet at me or send a picture as well, so I can pass that on because I'd love it.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Do try it.
Thank you both so much for coming out and sharing both of these recipes with us.
Thanks for having us. I was like, it's something I really wanted to do, and we realized that Desert Bus would mean it so that basically this was the earliest possible that we'd be able to do it, which is too late for the fruitcake. But
Not too late for the other things for your
You
holiday
can
entertainment.
report back on the fruitcake.
Yes, I look forward to it.
Van Bale, I tweeted the recipes earlier, or at least for the shortbread and the fruitcake. But if you, this VOD is here, and this will also be up on YouTube later.
So I'll make sure those get into the forum for this show as well.
Great, thank you.
Terrific.
And so that brings us to the end of our broadcast day
Yeah.
here on the Mighty Loading Ready Run. Paul, what's up next for us to view?
Up next we have
Oh.
New Day Tuesday. It's gonna be It'll Do Too. Finally.
Oh right, yes. See, it's on the
Oh,
on the bottom. There.
All the way through Desert Bus, it was downloading. And perhaps it is finally finished downloading now.
We used a lot of bandwidth over Desert Bus.
And then Wednesday is back to a pretty normal Wednesday, I believe. Oh wait, no. So Tuesday night then is one more. Going to be some more PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with, I believe, James in the pilot seat here on site and some other of us at home. Wednesday morning will be 9 o'clock. James is back on the Snorchcraft this week. James and Rebellious Uno there. Let's Nope this week is Alex and Ben trying Bendy and the Ink Machine. Based entirely off the title and graphic. For this game, it doesn't look spooky at all, says James. Well, let's see how that
I
works.
don't believe him.
And AFK this week is apparently not AFK, but a crossing the streams. We don't know what it's going to be this week.
TBD.
It might go back to being an AFK, but we're looking for something. 18 games and counting, as usual. Pretty normal looking Thursday. LRR MTG, finally back to playing Magic cards. We'll be doing some iconic masters. Alex and Cameron will be continuing to talk about Soma this Thursday evening. And then do we know what's up on Friday? Now Kiss, right, they're continuing to play Magical Diary Horse Hall, or the dating game that's not at Hogwarts. The
Horse Hall.
The crapshoot, it's just the name of it. It's nothing about horses, which is weird.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll be writing and filming a crapshoot on Friday, and then Friday night, Iconic Masters Draft.
Yes.
Now that that's finally out.
Very excited
for
to
that, so.
get involved in that.
But for tonight, we have some subs to welcome.
That's correct. Subs who have
Many people.
graciously put down their support here at twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun, and those of you also who do so at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We appreciate all of you. Specifically tonight, we'd like to appreciate...
It's a big list, because
boy.
everyone was saving up over Desert Bus. So,
Yeah, we had a lot this morning, and there are a few more.
Uh-oh.
More than a few.
yeah, let's do it. Do you want to join us in this?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be going down the line.
All right, starting off
I'll
the
start.
ground.
Here we go.
All right. Sean DeMarche, a new Patreon supporter. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Boots Malone, new subscriber.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You got an easy one to start with.
I
Some
did.
of them are tricky.
Marla Bakes is a new subscriber as well. Thank you, Marla, and I hope
Hey.
you enjoyed our baking.
Yeah. Clicky, a 3-month resub. Welcome back.
Viral Stitch for 5 months now.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I'd like to welcome Octonomicon, who is a brand new subscriber. Thank you.
Book of 8. Pete Simpson with a 13-month resub. Welcome back, Pete Simpson. The sub cups are coming. Dicey,
Dicey, perhaps, or D1C1.
13-month resub. Welcome back.
Mr. Flip, thank you for those 51 months of subscriptions.
Thank you, Mr. Flip. Drazfin with a 3-month resub. All hail eggnog.
Yes.
It was really good.
Jordowski for 9 months. Thank you.
Good films. Syndron for 5 months. Thank you for your continued support.
Mini Chi with an 11-month resub. 11 months. I had no idea so much time has passed. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yay. Variable vacancy for another 11 months. That's terrific. Thank you.
Tractor Lord for 18 months.
Get out of his way. Woken Click with a 27-month resub. 27 months, slowly catching up to my age. That seems weird. Doesn't seem weird to me. Thank you.
Bright Storm Rising for 3 months. Oh, thank you.
Edgy Berserker for 16 months. Looking forward to eggnog and baked goods.
So was
Follow
I.
our example.
And now I'm glad we've had them. Patron of the Moon with a 7-month resub. Welcome back.
Eternal Destiny for 3 months. Shredder had his cameras. Shredder had his cameras in the city. In the city. You think that's bad. You think that's bad. Well, I've seen Skeletor's boss.
Wow.
Okay.
Deep cuts.
Deep loading ready run references. Wow.
Ordinate for 47 months. Thank you so much.
Shadling 1 with an 11-month resub. Welcome back, Shadling.
10th Priest, new subscriber.
Got
Thank you.
there.
Yes. Selectnon for Selectone. Thank you.
Grand Llama Q with a 37-month resub. Hail to High Lord Stark. Thank you so much.
Go Amp Dog 2 for 33 months. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Maze board for 7 months.
Me is bored.
Me is bored. Well,
Rampaging Celt. Just in time for the shortbread with an 8-month resub. Please take the shortbread.
Ben with 2 N's for 9 months. Making Nog, get the rum.
Well, we had Brandy.
Backwood Shun.
Nope. Backwoods Hunter.
Backwoods Hunter X. Thank you.
Island Fish Jusconius with a 2-month resub. Good fruit cake is actually really good.
We agree.
Correct.
Carbon Cookie for 26 months. Family fun time.
Better than
And
I
it
did
has
my-
been.
Better than I did my first time.
Der Pilsner for 3 months. Thank you for joining us.
Chaotic Observer with a 3-month resub. Welcome back.
Solemn Storm for 13 months. Adam Ford is a cool person and a great subscriber. Okay.
AJ Durai for 9 months. Christmas sub, baby. Woo!
Tim Win Game for 6-month resub. 6 months. Woo! Thanks for all the great content, LRR. Thank you, Tim Win Game. We're not responsible for what they make us say.
Parliament 27 for 4 months. Woo, 4 months. Thanks for all you do. Thank you.
I'm getting a waft of that brandy and that vanilla. And Rocket Wolfpack is a brand new subscriber. Thank you so much.
Merriman Lion with a 14-month resub. Heck yeah, shortbread!
Shortbread.
Oh, it smells so good.
Stratos 0083, a new subscriber. Thank you very much.
Oh, we have a lot of wiping down to do.
BV310 for 34 months. Both Nog and Dad Stark. Happy holidays.
You get everything today.
Todd the Dog with a 5-month resub. Love tuning into this. Tuning in for this. Welcome back from Tucson and Vegas. And Tucson and Vegas.
Whisper Stokats for 12 months. Meow. Congratulations on a successful busing.
Meow.
Dark Steel Hero 1 for 14 months. Thank you.
Raving Penguin with a 28-month resub. Raving around.
Grey Rabbit Media for 16 months. Time to get baked.
Make sure to switch. Kirby Sliver for 5 months. All slivers are now Kirby's in addition to their other types.
Okay.
Magic jokes. Hamath with a 5-month resub. Food's time is now.
And forever.
Food's time was then, but now is now.
Lego Geodrit for 5 months. A Start Christmas Fry episode. Yes.
About as well as I would have done.
11 Dot for 5 months. Congrats with Desert Bus. Tell Beej he's my favorite. Beej.
Beej.
You're 11 Dot's favorite.
Yeah, I know.
The GTF with a 31-month resub. Welcome back.
Nerves of Jello for 9 months. Thank you for keeping me sane through finals via Foodcraft. Love you guys.
Hope your
Good
finals
luck with
go
the
well.
finals.
Yeah.
Caffalore TV for 33 months. Thank you for joining us.
Miles3190 with a 3-month resub says, love Tinker.
Love that you're here.
Bill the Cat for 29 months. Dear Mr. Stark, our LRR is sending you residuals for your appearance in the season 4 finale 10 years ago.
Oh my God, that
was 10 years ago. That was so long ago.
J Blank for 14 months. Fruitcake does not need a defense. Fruitcake is best cake.
Well, I'm here regardless. I'm here for fruitcake. Eldrazi Outlaw with a 46-month resub. Oh, welcome back.
Really Nova for 3 months.
Tuba Devil for 4 months. Thank you.
Tuba with horns. Sofa King Funny Man for the 3-month resub. Look at that, 3 months, more than 2, less than 4.
Yes. Gentle Caden 1000 for 7 months. Thank you so much.
Ella 806 for 47 months. From the moment Ian started talking about eggnog production, Cam's line of "sounds like my first time" has entered my head and ostensibly refused to leave.
No.
Separating the yolks?
Brave King Max with a 3-month resub. Thanks for all the great stuff you make and congrats on another wonderful desert bus. Thank you, Brave King Max. Appreciate it. Oh, and a smiley face.
Salem Adams for 10 months. Glad to be around for 10 months. We're happy to have you here too.
Yeah. So many subs today.
Corin Horn for 14 months. Thank you for that continued support.
Jet Dead 2166 with a 17-month resub. Welcome back.
Mad Aaron 87 for 11 months. Well, now look at that nog.
That's how we tell where we're about in the... Yeah. Jay Chinook for 7 months. Time to get some holiday drunk. Spice up that nog.
Hey, Jason.
We've cut up to about an hour ago.
Goreem9 with an 18-month resub says, hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
John Dengineer. John D. Engineer for 2 months. 2 months sub and tasty recipes. Yes, thank you.
Bowman 427 for 38 months saying, I hear we're doing holiday edibles.
Sure
we are. And we did.
Commander Crossing with a 40-month resub, 40 months of awesomeness. Also, fruitcake is fantastic the day it is made. I've never had it the same day.
Fresh.
Bannock Spacebar for 3 months. I can't think of anything funny to say, but I'm excited to make some nog and or shortbread.
Sweet, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, please.
Please do.
Drake SD is a new subscriber. You used to subscribe on your cell phone.
Wow. Count Zero War with a 3-month resub, quarter of the way to a sub, baby. Baby.
Herbert Erpaderp for 6 months. Thank you for being excellent. Thank you.
You're a third of the way to a sub, baby. A quarter, it doesn't matter.
Max Squizzy for 9 months is Babby.
That's baby.
You did it.
T2 Zane with a 43-month resub says, I choose to pronounce that, woo.
Rossmification for 3 months. Thanks you.
Shot Rob for 19 months, post DB sub, yay.
Yay. Rock Muncher with a 5-month resub. Oh, hey, this thing needs doing. I have done the thing. Thank you, Rock Muncher, for doing the
We
thing.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Rourke 9 for 12 months. Yay, finally a year.
Woo, you made it.
Thank you.
John K235 for 36 months. Thank you so much, John K.
Sakurazaki 1023 with a 45-month resub. Nothing cures a terrible workday quite like a festive TTSF. Exactly what I needed tonight.
Great.
Heart. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rocketman 210 for 3 months. Heyo, Mari Karis. Thank you.
Alien Nanobots for 4 months.
What was that in Japanese?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Mary covers.
Thank you.
Viewers like you with a 16-month resub, congrats on another successful Desert Bus, and here's to the coming year of fantastic streams between now and the next one. Cheers. Thank you. The stream is brought to you by viewers like you.
Robert Merlot for 34 months. Food things after Desert Bus seems like a good recovery option. We think so too.
So good.
Stock trading river otter for 8 months. I'm pretty sure that's not calamari.
No, okay, we've got up to the dates. Hungry Hobo with a 28-month resub. Welcome back.
We're on a food roll. Burger Terra for 11 months. New recipes to try out.
Yay.
Let us know how it goes. Farley F for 33 months, 3 people on screen, 3 hours of TTSF 3 days after Desert Bus ends. Coincidence? Beach.
Yeah?
No, there's a little beach face.
Oh.
Bladeness with a 4-month resub. Glad to have you all back after another wonderful Desert Bus. Thank you. We're glad to have you back.
Yes. Coyote 001 for 14 months. Thank you.
And Raven for 44 months. Oh, snap. Festive baking. Yes.
Raven, I'm almost sure. Feldheim C with a 51-month resub. Just got here. I dig the festive hats. They're warm, I tell you what.
They are warm.
Yeah.
Natson, new subscriber. Thank you.
Welcome, Natson.
Moral Bacteria for 13 months. Thank you for joining us.
Better than Immortal
Some great
Bacteria.
names.
Asterisk Mike with a 31-month resub. Yummers, wait, is Graham having Graham OMGers Canada Donner Party confirmed? What? Oh, because of Graham's. I was oh, I see.
Oh, Brit 1030 for 9 months. Glad to see you escape Desert Bus gravity well.
Yup.
The Pear Bear for 6 months. Yay, I didn't get lost in my renewal. Lose track of my renewal to DB. Thank you.
Crimson Dragoon with a 47-month resub. Welcome back.
That's terrific. AJ Malik for 9 months. Watching TTSF while I write my paper. Do you think my professor will accept Desert Bus as grounds for an extension? Probably not.
No.
I'm prepared to write a letter.
Best of luck.
The Angels Weep has subscribed for 22 months. Thank you, the Angels Who Weep.
Ember Becky with a 46-month resub. Thanks for sharing your recipes. It's been a fun stream. Also, thanks for a great Desert Bus. Heart. Thank you, Ember Becky, for watching.
Van Bale for 34 months. We'll make an effort to try these recipes out. Thank you so much for sharing them. Let us know how they work.
Yes, please. And Kane Kid is a brand new subscriber. Thank you, Kane Kid.
Zabaron with a 50-month resub. Welcome back, Zabaron.
Limalim, new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing.
Elder Atropos for 9 months.
39
months.
39.
Volton Phase with a 13-month resub. Welcome back. See, what he's doing is taking a second to read it first.
Taven, new subscriber.
Whereas we just leap in and then get lost halfway through the word.
Who's this?
Ian.
Tyrant Taco for 47 months. Thank you.
Mimic 325 with a new sub. Welcome to the channel.
KV1NN4 for 14 months. Yay, baked objectively goods.
Yes, they are objectively good.
Velvet Falcon is a brand new subscriber. Sweet crushed velvet.
Esharichi Cole with a 46-month resub. Made it just in time. Thanks for your help at Desert Bus.
Yoda 3793 for 46 months.
Lathos Tyron for 46 months. Off to try out Desert Bus VR.
Yeah, they released it.
Hey, enjoy that.
Oh, great.
Lord Brian with a 5-month resub says 5 months. Whee!
Dr. McBoop for 11 months. Whee!
I believe that takes us to the end of the subs.
Just about. It does. And so thanks for 1,700 bits from Splash from Mirrodin, Earth and One, Mercer Man, Bladenus Rock Pusher, Tiv and Icefinch, Less Skunks Than Estimated, and Valhallan Knight.
And in particular, shout out to Rock Pusher for 200 bits, and it says, "Thank you, Papa Stark, for raising such wonderful children."
Aw,
I
thank
don't
you.
know. I don't know who that was actually. That could be directed at either of you. There you go.
It could.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
We both.
It's just wait. Plural children wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, at the beginning of the stream, someone was like, "It's the Dad Stark," and I think Dix or somebody else was like, "Well, Graham is also the Dad Stark now,"
Yeah.
which is a weird
We
thought.
double
very
dad
weird.
streams.
Yeah,
Yes. Anyway, you're
Well,
welcome.
Thank you both again for coming.
this was
and
great.
For
This is
dragging
terrific.
each other out. It was a fantastic show, I think, and I look forward to seeing what these are like in the future. And I look forward to seeing what
I'll make
you
sure to
guys
share one with the class.
do with it too.
By the class, I mean the Moonbase.
There is a holiday poll.
Right, we forgot
Oh,
about
no.
the poll.
So I'm rarely ever on this show. This is the poll is what's going to happen on the show tonight.
This is a poll that Couldn't Pick Username did before, and what possible nasty events could take place.
Right. It's
Given the subject matter.
right. It's usually how is today's episode going to fail?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
How will there be some sort of terrible injury?
Right. I'm going to enjoy a piece of shortbread while we listen.
And it's a poll. So we have 28% that say Ian, just all of him gets covered in eggnog. 22% say Ian accidentally insults the honor of Graham's fruitcake, leading to a duel with turkey basters at 20 paces.
Okay.
16% say the eggnog accidentally gets contaminated, prompting a return to Gangnam Hell.
Oh,
That
right.
would be terrible.
Yeah, we don't want to go there again.
11% says Ian misunderstands what whipping the eggs means, but everything is fine because the eggs know the safe word. 8% say the Elder Stark, unaware of their origins, samples one of the remaining caramel apples, in quotation marks, and never returns to the moon base again.
Whoa. No, those have gone far away.
Yeah, those have gone away.
Thank you.
We did a terrible eating thing. It was bad.
Okay. Glad I wasn't there.
6% of people say the glitter that has been breeding in the roof caves, or has been breeding the roof caves in, smothering everybody to death. Believe a fabulous tidal wave.
I see one piece of glitter on the floor.
We're doing very well on
Yeah.
getting rid of that glitter.
5% say the eggs for the nog hatch live on stream,
That'd be good.
I mean, a neat trick.
Yep.
while hiding Graham questions where the hell Ian got Velociraptor eggs. And 5% say Graham, after surviving a freak baking accident, became known as Fruitcake Arm and begins his plans for world domination.
I do need to wash my hands, but it's about as close as we
Polar is
got.
very sticky.
That's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you everybody so much for watching.
Yes. We will see you in a fortnight. As we say all the time, ever forward.
No, what do you do? No, Ian. Real smooth.
Never learning. Where is it?
You didn't learn where it was, so then.
There it is.
No.
Oh wow, someone fixed it again.
Is it off? It's actually just not
Yeah.
working. Where's the... Oh yeah, they popped the battery case open.
Ah, there we go.
Somebody learned. Somebody learned.
We'll see you in a fortnight. Thanks so much.